Are you ready to rumble? Well, not really. Are you ready to watch somebody go on that? Okay.
Proctor and told them to reach out to Canton and follow up on the report of.
Parker, thank you for putting me back in my place. I know I was being reckless by saying that. I really should give him a chance. Thank you for giving me the proverbial slap back in the line.
Mail in the snow.
Thank you, Barbie.
And
Thank you,
this is around
Cass.
6:44 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
What did you do next?
I
Did we lose the
waited
flash
for
call?
a call back from Michael Proctor, and he reported the details of, yes, there was a
Thank you,
male
Catnip.
found in a snowbank in Canton, and that they were requesting our assistance as he had sustained injury and was unresponsive and had been
Thank you, guys.
transported to Good Samaritan Hospital.
What was the plan at this point?
At this point, where I learned that he had sustained injury and there was a heavy blizzard in the area,
You.
I decided myself to get dressed, shovel out, and
Remind me to clip that. That was awesome. That was on Karen. Now, I have a legit question for you guys. Is it? No, it's not. That was the one that was already there. That was. I went like this so it didn't, yeah. Remind me to clip that for our blooper reels. Aaron's changing the curtains for me. Okay, since we're doing gummy bears, I have a legit question. Is there anybody in here that when they eat their gummy bears, don't. Is there anybody in here that when they eat gummy bears or Sour Patch Kids, they start to feel guilty unless they bite the head off first? Because I do.
Hell no. Just bite the whole thing.
If you bite off its legs first, it can feel the pain.
Yeah, bite the whole thing.
No, you take little bites of it. Head first, so there's no pain. I'm really the only one that does that? Nobody does that? I've done that my whole life.
Yep.
I don't want to grow up on my Toys R Us good, so I'm going to stay with my little childhood analogies. But, well, then what am I going to bite second, Parker?
Just the whole thing.
That's what Parker said, too. She said the whole thing. I need a
eat
different
the
lip
whole
gloss.
Thing. Jeez. Why would you
I am. Painfully so that I even think gummy bears have the emotions. Oh gosh, I made you feel... Shit.
What?
Now because you feel guilty, I feel your guilt. Damn it. Let's just play the thing and Michelle not talk about the weird things that Michelle's like to do.
respond to
Could I get
Canton.
myself in trouble?
Were you required to get involved and go to Canton that morning?
At this point,
Is that like secondhand embarrassment but for gummies?
What the?
Remind me to make a secondhand embarrassment sign later. By the way, check out the new or sticker, not sign. Check out the new sticker and tell me if you guys like it that way or if you want it back to the other font.
point in time, I was not, but I thought that it would be
Mic drop one.
prudent on me to, at the very least, shovel out, because another call could have come in and I would have had to respond to that, and
You
the
need
driver
gummy
would have
bear
been shoveled.
stickers now.
Were you in touch with Mr. Proctor?
I
Oh
was,
God.
Did you have any plan to meet him?
Good.
yes.
When and where?
We decided to meet at the Canton Police Department.
And about what time were you going to leave your home, or did you leave your home?
I left my home probably around 8:50, and I know I arrived to the Canton Police Department approximately 9:15 in the morning.
Did you know the address where the person was found in the snow?
At that time, I learned the address once we got to the police
Sorry guys, I think I broke up our flash goal.
department, but it had no significance for me. I did not know
Well, no.
where it was.
Correction, the reporting broke up the flash goal.
Why did you plan to go to the Canton Police Department instead of going to the scene first?
The Canton Police Department, fire department personnel, and paramedics had already cleared. the
Thank you,
location.
Tammy.
So we,
Can you guys read that sticker?
again, given the conditions, it would be, we were in a controlled environment inside a police station to exchange information, collect any evidence if it was available, and the police department safety and security of that would have been the best location for it.
You mentioned that you arrived at the Canton Police Department around 9:15 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Was Mr. Proctor there when you arrived?
Mr. Proctor was there walking in with me.
Bless you.
When you went in with Mr. Proctor that morning, who did you meet?
We went in, we met with multiple Canton police personnel, one of which being Sergeant Good.
Everybody, thank you.
He was one of the first responders to
And catnip.
the initial scene.
Did you receive any items from Sergeant Good or any of the police officers
I
while
need
you
to
were
go
there?
through those.
Yes, we
Even that
received-
rotating thing.
we didn't receive it, but we were shown a broken cocktail glass, bottom of a broken cocktail glass. We were
Don't you have a new one too?
provided Mr. John O'Keefe's cell phone, and I was also shown a brown paper bag with 6 plastic Solo cups in it, containing a
Hey, Kathy.
what was reported to be blood in the snow.
When you were shown these items and had a discussion with the Canton Police Department, were any decisions made about the future of the investigation? You had shared with them.
This isn't Proctor. Oh no, you still have that? I'm so sorry. I hope it gets better soon and you added strep to that. That is not good. Not good at all. I hope you get better soon. But this is paused when he's got his tongue like that. I didn't do that on purpose either. Thank you, Cora.
That is funny.
Well, I'm in another little sort of spicy mood, so I can't promise what you're gonna get today, guys. In that town, it really is.
That's earlier that typically the state police pair up with local detectives. Did you do that morning?
That morning, we did not. We had learned that there was a loose familial connection through town channels with the address and possibility of a Canton police officer or detective. So Canton police, out of overwhelming precaution of impropriety, not that there was one, decided to step away from any interview investigation assistance with us.
Remind me to go back and screenshot it at that time. Guys, this is Gary. I don't know how to say his last name. It starts with a B. That's who this is.
Has that happened in your...
Catnip, do you want the pink aloe pack cleanser from April Skin? Wait, what was... Is that right now? Sandra? There was a plane crash this morning?
What? Jesus. What is it gonna be?
I'm verifying, hold on. Hey Kathy, how are you? Lou said here's another one too. Why didn't they check all the cameras? They never did that either. Is it active right now? Was it a small plane or a big plane? Catnip, do you want the April Skin Pink Aloe Toner? I have 2 April Skin items left. That's why I'm asking if you wanted them. Small plane. Jesus. You guys couldn't pay me to fly right now. I'm gonna be honest. You couldn't pay me to.
I mean,
You heard it before?
pay me.
Shut up.
Yes, it has. Yes.
I could go home.
Since there would be no local detective, did that change your role at this point in the case, your involvement?
It did not change my involvement, but it did bring up a concern of manpower. We are obviously
Yeah,
limited.
Kenneth, you're gonna get these two.
Limited by staff. The weather conditions also further exacerbated that issue. So transportation was an issue, timing is always an issue, and you can never have enough manpower.
Did your role
Sir?
become more prominent, given there was no local detective involved?
I would have to pick up the slack. I'm a team player. I always want to assist in any which way I can to make others' life easier.
And you were Mr. Proctor's supervisor?
I was.
After you received the broken glass, the cell phone, and you saw the plastic cups with the blood in them, where did the evidence next lead you?
Based on the information we had learned and the evidence, we decided that we needed to speak to the individuals who were last in contact and present at the scene when Mr. O'Keefe was found.
Did you have any specific other information that you were following at that point?
Yes, we had statements made by the defendant that she was questioning whether she had hit him, and to that extent.
Had you focused in on a target at this point or reached any conclusions about your investigation?
No, we were still in the information and fact-finding portion of the investigation. We are not ruling out people as much as we're not ruling people in as much as we're ruling people out. So we need to get as much information as possible that is in physical form, statement form, and circumstantial
Don't you think it might have been prudent to separate them if you were gonna do that, sir?
factors as well.
So where did the evidence take you next?
Following 3 interviews conducted in Canton with witnesses, we proceeded to the Good Samaritan Hospital because, based on the information I learned, I needed to put eyes on Mr. O'Keefe and his injuries. I needed to see what exactly the witnesses were describing.
Do you remember who you spoke with that morning before you decided
Hi, Ken.
that you wanted to go to the hospital to see Mr. O'Keefe?
Yes, we interviewed Miss Jen McCabe, Mr. Matt McCabe, and Mr. Brian Albert at the McCabe residence.
How long or about what time did you get to see Mr. O'Keefe?
We got to see Mr. O'Keefe, I would approximate probably like 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock-ish.
Why did you want to see him specifically?
I wanted to see the injuries for myself, the location of the injuries, the types of injuries, the extent of the injuries, and overall condition that his body was in would be very telling. The mechanism of injury, how it might have taken place, and also the correlation of any evidence at the scene with those injuries.
Now, you don't have any medical degrees, do you?
I do not.
How about biomechanical engineering?
No.
Do you have life and job experience in these situations?
Yes, 20 plus years of law enforcement investigating car crashes, pedestrian crashes, and 10 years in homicide.
Your role is not to make a diagnosis, is it?
No, it's not.
Is this information and your interpretation based on your experience important in guiding what you're going to do in the investigation?
Yes,
This is Gary B something. I don't know what it is. I don't even know how to pronounce that. He's Michael Proctor's supervisor.
it is very.
Do you ultimately get to Good Samaritan Hospital?
Yes, we do.
Okay, take us through what happens when you get there.
When we got to Good Samaritan Hospital, the driving conditions were treacherous. It took us 45 minutes from Canton Center basically to Good Sam, which should be
Buckhead.
15, 20-minute drive.
Okay.
At one point, I had to get off the highway because I couldn't tell if I was on the roadway, if I was off the roadway. So the guidance of
Thank you.
trees on the side of the road through the town streets actually helped us guide the path to Good Samaritan. Once we arrived, We walked to the emergency department where Mr. O'Keefe was initially treated and where he remained. Upon arrival, we spoke with medical personnel who advised us that the defendant had at that point been discharged from the hospital and that Mr. O'Keefe was still in the emergency room and available for us to view.
Catnip, do you want the pink aloe toner, the cleanser, and the serum from April Skin too?
At that point, you said the defendant had been discharged. She was not the defendant at that point.
No, she was not, no.
I agree with that.
Did you have a chance to enter a room or actually see Mr. O'Keefe?
Yes, I did.
Had he passed at that time?
Yes, he has.
When you walk in the room, what do you see?
When I walked into the room, I saw a medical bed in front of me. Mr. O'Keefe was covered with a sheet, as is typical with any victim that had passed. There was a pile of clothing to the left, at his feet to the left of the bed. I observed several injuries on him once I lifted the sheet, and those were documented with photographs by Crime Scene Services, a member of the state police, who also met us at the hospital for that purpose.
So there were other members of the team that were there to photograph
Yes,
Mr. O'Keefe and some of the injuries?
yes.
How many people were in the room with
Hi,
you and
aunties.
Mr. Proctor when you were observing and viewing Mr. O'Keefe?
There was a total of 3 of us, myself, Mr. Proctor, the Crime Scene Services individual. There was medical staff coming in, nurses asking us if there was anything that we needed to assist us with. But from law enforcement, it was
From Maylee's neck tightening cream or Go Pure tightening cream? My shop isn't active anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm banned from doing it. Well, there's only 2 neck creams that I have used. I used Go Pure and Maylee's Poised. Those are the 2 that I've used. The one I use now is Poised. Because I didn't know that you can't put things up, like the little thing in the bag, to show people stuff during a regular live. I thought you could. I thought it was only up, and you had to talk about what's up, and then when you take it down, you could resume your regular conversations. I didn't know that you couldn't. And I guess I did it too many times, and I didn't know that. So I got so many points, and that means you're banned from doing it. So now it's all on my backup. But yeah, you'd think they'd be more understanding.
those 3 of us there.
That is
I don't
what it is.
want you to try to give us a diagnosis or provide us an opinion of the cause of any injuries. But rather, I want you to share with us, as you're observing Mr. O'Keefe in that hospital room, what are you seeing and what is standing out to you?
That's asinine.
I saw pooling of blood underneath his head. There was seepage of blood into the sheets. There was also swelling, discoloration, a large amount of blood pooling underneath his eyelids. There was no abrasions or injuries that I observed to that region. To me, through my training experience, I took that as subject.
Not to medical observations.
I was gonna say, he's not a doctor. Why is he
Sure.
giving
I'd ask you not to
the
give
medical
your personal
examiners?
interpretations of what you saw. Rather, I want you to share with the jury what you saw through your view.
There was also a tiny cut, laceration to the eyelid area.
You're pointing to your right eye. Could you be
Yes.
specific, please?
Also in the left nostril, there was a very small laceration there. Both were not actively bleeding. There were a series of cuts and bruises to the right arm, which extended from approximately forearm up to the mid tricep area of Mr. O'Keefe, and they were concentrated on the exterior of the arm. There was no other injury or marks on the interior or inside of the arm. There was also a bruise
Thank you,
on
Helen.
that same arm on the back of the hand. It was light in color. It wasn't a profound discoloration as the eyes appeared to me. There were also injuries to abrasion or cut scrapes to the knee, I believe.
Which knee?
The right knee. I apologize.
You had first described swelling in the right eye, and then you had just said the eyes. Could you be specific? Was the swelling in one or both eyes when you saw Mr. O'Keefe?
When I saw Mr. O'Keefe, the swelling was in both eyes. It might not have been exactly symmetrical, but there was swelling, discoloration in both eyelids of Mr. O'Keefe. There was also blood pooling in the cavity of the eyeball, both sides of the eyeballs.
Do you know about what time it was that you visited Mr. O'Keefe and made these observations?
It was sometime between 12:30, 1 o'clock, and 2 o'clock, I would assume.
You mentioned that there was pooling on the back of Mr. O'Keefe's head. Did you look for any injury?
Yes, we looked for injury. All I could tell, there was bleeding happening. I could not tell exactly what the extent of the injury was, not being a medical professional.
And you really
You
shouldn't be
mentioned
talking
there were
about
a
it, sir.
pile of clothes in the floor. Is that uncommon?
No, it's not uncommon at all.
Did you have any opportunity, or did you decide to look at those clothes?
Yes, what happens, the reason those clothes are on the floor is that for medical therapy, for medical treatment, the victim has their clothing removed for access to the body. There's obviously all sorts of equipment and medical
Thank you for
procedure
the
that's
follow,
done.
Chuck.
So that clothes is discarded. We knew that it was Mr. O'Keefe's clothing. We knew that it would be important to aid us in the investigation. So that clothing was picked up, identified item by item, and bagged. It was in a soaking wet state with moisture and other debris on it.
When you are looking at Mr. O'Keefe, you have to touch him and move him.
Yes, during our investigations, we're not simply looking at photographs. We are there in the scene. We are smelling it. We are touching it. We are, unfortunately, with certain pungent scenes, we were tasting it. That's the reality of us breathing in the scene when we're living it through the investigation.
Do you wear any type of protection?
Absolutely. We wear gloves. At times, we wear other PPE, personal protective equipment.
When you looked at Mr. O'Keefe's clothes, you said that you bagged them. Did anything stand out in particular about his set of clothing?
In particular, we were missing a sneaker of his. That was very significant to me. It caused me to have Michael
Heather.
Proctor contact the paramedics that transported Mr. O'Keefe to the hospital and confirm with them, conduct a secondary check that that sneaker was not left behind in the ambulance.
Why was the missing sneaker significant to you at that point?
At that point, our theory had evolved to a vehicle strike based on the injuries, and
Yeah, because that seems logical.
I was suspecting that he was hit out of his shoes.
Hit
Is
out
there a
of his
phrase that's
shoes.
common in these type of situations?
Yes,
What's that?
knocked out of your shoes.
Did you know where the other sneaker was?
I did not know, but I suspected, since it was missing, and once the reports came in, that paramedics, EMT personnel did not find the other sneaker, that it would be somewhere where Mr. O'Keefe was found or where he was initially struck by a vehicle.
Did you and Mr. Proctor have an opportunity around that time, 12:30, 1 o'clock, to go back to that address to look for the sneaker?
We did not know.
Why not?
Again, during the critical early hours of an investigation, timing is essential. We have to make sure we get to any and every location that could possibly have evidence and prevent that evidence from being destroyed, altered, or concealed. So we are prioritizing missions. And with the resources available at that time, I conference with my boss and advised
you?
him of the current status of the information that we had. And he stated that he would go out and marshal up resources to conduct a search.
Is this an example of the team approach of the state police at the homicide unit?
Yes.
System.
After having this information, making these observations of Mr. O'Keefe, yourself, and bagging the clothes, where did the evidence lead you next?
At this point, once we viewed the clothing and Mr. O'Keefe, we had to go talk to the last person that saw him, and that would have been, at the time, his girl,
Who'd you go see?
the defendant, Your Honor.
And the prior question wasn't answered, so prior questions.
Did you know where Miss Reed was at that point?
Yes, we had learned that she traveled to her parents' home in Dayton.
Did you learn about any, or did you have any interest in any physical evidence at that point?
Yes, with the missing shoe, her stating that did I hit him, and along that line of statements,
Along that line?
I was interested in the vehicle that she was operating that night.
How far was Dayton from where you were at Good Samaritan Hospital?
That's a really good question, except they never got the footage. The officer across the street, or actually I believe he was a former chief of police, he never gave over his footage. They never asked for it. Now it's gone.
Typically, I would say it's probably a 35, 45-minute drive. With the driving conditions, it took us all of an hour, 15 minutes.
Who was driving?
I was driving.
Were you in a issued vehicle or were you in a personal vehicle?
No, I had to drive my personal pickup truck due to the weather. My cruiser would have never made the unplowed streets of the area.
Was Mr. Proctor with you?
Unplowed.
He was.
Were you by his side the entire time?
Mr. Proctor and I were together the entire day.
You decided to go or drive towards Dayton. Did you ultimately make it to Dayton?
Yes, we did.
Do you know what time you arrived in Dayton approximately?
Approximately 3 p.m.
On your way down to Dayton, did you learn any further information beyond what you had known when you had left Mr. O'Keefe at Good Samaritan?
Yes, at one point, Michael Proctor
Okay.
took a call from Jen McCabe, and she further elaborated and provided information stating that she remembered.
Sustained.
After receiving that information, is there something specifically you wanted to look at when you got to Dayton?
Yes, we wanted to look at the rear right tail light. Based on the information provided, it was allegedly to
Let me
be.
stop you there. I just wanted to know what you wanted to look at.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to relate conversations with somebody who's not here. And so you had an interest in looking at the right rear tail light.
Yes,
Do you know what type of vehicle you were looking for?
we were looking for a large black Lexus SUV.
Jen McCabe. And
When
that
you made your way down to
firefighter.
Dayton, you said you finally arrived.
How did you know you were at the right address?
The defendant provided her parents' address to us.
Before you got to Dayton, after learning of new information and the information you already had, did you make any arrangements?
Yes.
Tell the jury what you did on the way down to Dayton.
On the way down, we contacted Dayton Police Department and gave them a heads up that we would be coming down for an investigation. And we were looking to most likely seize a vehicle. And we were requesting their assistance in contacting a local tow truck company that they were contracted with, and or also to assist us at the scene being a uniformed presence.
When you pulled up to the address, did you make any immediate observations while you were still inside your truck?
Yes, the road was not well plowed. There was only enough clearance for one vehicle. So it was difficult to find a place to park, and maneuverability was also challenging.
Did you make any observations of the home or the driveway before you got out of your truck?
Yes, the home is to the left of the driveway. The driveway was not plowed either. There was a large black Lexus SUV parked in the driveway.
Was the front of the SUV facing you or the back of the SUV?
The back of the SUV was closest towards us.
How far from the SUV were you when you first parked at that address?
Probably it's the length of the driveway. Based on my memory now, I would probably estimate it to be 60 feet or so.
Did you make any observations of the SUV from that distance?
It was covered with snow.
Thank you, Kay.
Like it's been either sitting outside or driven outside in the snow, so it was
Thank you.
exposed to the elements.
What was your next steps?
We waited for Dayton PD to arrive to assist us. Once they arrived, Michael Proctor and I exited and proceeded up the driveway. I told Michael,
Let me stop you with what you said. I want to just know what you observed.
Okay.
As you're walking up the driveway, how close to that SUV did you get at its closest?
at its closest, I got as close as me and the defense table, which is probably 10 to 12 feet.
From the 10 to 12 feet, did you notice anything remarkable about the SUV?
Yes, there was a large piece of red taillight cover missing from the vehicle.
Not white
After you made an
Just red?
observation of a large piece of the red taillight
or
cover
clear?
missing, did you do anything else relative to the SUV at that time?
Yes, I told Michael to get
I
close.
heard Kate.
I'm not interested in what he did. What did you do? What did you see?
I just saw the damaged, missing taillight cover. I did not touch it. We did not approach it with physical contact. So,
Did you see where Michael Proctor went?
Hi, Nina.
yes,
How close to the car or the vehicle did he get?
Good morning. You're just in
within 3
time.
feet.
Did he ever touch it?
No.
Where did you and Michael Proctor go next?
We proceeded to the front door of the home to make contact with the residents.
And how clearly did you see that missing piece? What's your level of certainty?
100%.
She
Did you
jumped
knock on
up
the
when
door?
you came in.
Yes, I did.
Were you invited in?
We were, but not through the front door due to the weather and the piled up snow. We couldn't open the storm door. Mr. Reed invited us into the home through the garage. He opened the garage door for us and welcomed us inside.
When you went inside, what did you see?
Auntie Renee
When I went
loves you.
inside, I saw Mr. Reed, Mrs. Reed, and the defendant sitting on the couch.
You've referred to the defendant a number of times as Miss Reed. Do you see the defendant here in the courtroom today?
I do.
And the person you spoke to that morning, can you point that person out and describe an article of clothing they're wearing?
She's sitting in the middle right there in front of me wearing a black suit with yellow colored metal buttons on it.
When you walked in, did you say that the defendant was sitting on a couch?
She was
How close were you when you were speaking to her?
within 12, 15 feet. We were in the same room, in the living room area.
Thank you for
Was
the
Mr.
follow,
Proctor there?
Erica.
He was.
Was Mr. Proctor speaking to her?
He was.
Were you speaking to her at the same time or interchanging?
We were both communicating with her, a team approach.
I want to ask you about that conversation you had with Ms. Reed. Before I do, Your Honor, may I approach briefly?
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa. Sidebar number one. Number one. I know I often point this way, but that's because this way is where the computer is for me. Everything shows up this way for you guys. I'm just explaining why I point the opposite direction. Thank you for the follow, Val. So it was him. Okay, that's what I was wondering, if it was the one from, because he's actually from Chicago. So an Illinoisan. Mm-hmm. Babe, the new pope is the pope from from Chicago.
He's a bishop from.
Whatever. My words aren't wording properly.
Okay.
Thank you for the follow, Wendy. Thank you.
Wait. Was it Reed or Cardinal?
All I know, he's now the new pope.
Hmm.
And I know he's from Chicago. Now that they've confirmed that, I just had to confirm that it was a guy from Chicago. She looks so defeated every single day. His mom does. And the sad part is even if Karen was found guilty, I think she would still look defeated. I think her heart is defeated. I don't know. I stay out of the whole politic part of stuff, so I have no idea.
More.
Yeah, Kathy. Mm-hmm. Hi, Audra. Thank you. Didn't I say she? You're gonna make us stare at the fan, aren't you? Damn it. Don't worry, we don't have to stare for long.
Preliminary determination about whether or not it can be considered by you as evidence at all. In your determination, at the end of the case, you're not to consider any such statement by the defendant
Whoa.
as evidence.
Hold the hell on.
Even though it's presented.
How did we get to jury instructions?
Give an instruction right now, Mr. Brennan?
I would defer to counsel.
Mr. Jackson, you want me to
I'm
give
not
a
asking for one.
humane practice instruction?
Yes.
Yes, all right. So, folks, you're about to hear testimony regarding a statement or statements that were allegedly made by or attributed to Ms. Reed. I'm going to instruct you in more detail at the end of the case about this matter. However, I want you to understand that at this time, as the statements are offered into evidence, that before you may consider the content of any such statement made by the defendant as evidence, you're going to have to make a preliminary determination about whether or not it can be considered by you as evidence at all. In your determination, at the end of the case, you're not to consider any such statement by the defendant as evidence, even though it's presented to you through a witness at trial, unless from all the evidence in the case, you first determine that the Commonwealth has proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Ms. Reed made the statements she's alleged to have made, and that she made it voluntarily, freely, and rationally. All right, go ahead, Mr. Brennan.
I don't like
Thank
that.
you, Your Honor. Sir, I want you to begin from when you were in the living room, your beginning conversation with the defendant, the presence of both her father and mother. You're with Mr. Proctor. Can you share with us the conversation that you had with the defendant?
What they're about to do is read the interview that they got from Karen Reed. They just had to give the jury special instructions for at the end. Nope. I'm not seeing a tape or a video either.
Yes, she stated that she's willing to answer our questions, but she didn't want to go into too many details.
Thank you.
That's how the
Renee.
conversation began. She provided us the fact that Mr. O'Keefe was hanging out with a friend of his at 5 p.m. at the One Meadows Ave residence, following which he proceeded to C.F. McCarthy's in Canton, where the defendant stated that she met him approximately at 9 p.m. She was drinking vodka sodas. Mr. O'Keefe was consuming Bud Light beer. After C.F. McCarthy's, they proceeded to the Waterfall Grill and Bar. At this point, the defendant was asked if she brought a beverage with her from C.F. McCarthy's to the Waterfall establishment, to which she stated she didn't think so.
Did you see that? Thank you, Renee.
After the Waterfall, the defendant stated that
Thank you,
she
Julie.
dropped Mr. O'Keefe off at 34 Fairview. She was asked if she saw him go in the house. She stated no, she did not see him go in the house. She was asked about the damage to her rear
Thank you.
taillight, to
I
which
did.
she stated, quote, "I don't know how I did it last night," end quote. Once she provided us with the fact that she dropped him off and never saw him go in the house, she was asked to provide details about her leaving. She stated that she made a 3-point turn and left. She was asked to provide some explanation of how Mr. O'Keefe sustained those injuries that he had. She did not.
Let me stop you there. Did you get an answer to your question about how he sustained the injuries or the details about the 3-point turn?
No, I did not.
You mentioned that when you were at Good Samaritan Hospital, you saw blood on the back of Mr. O'Keefe's head.
Yes.
Did you ask the defendant anything about that injury?
Yes, we asked about the injuries that Mr. O'Keefe had, that he had been displaying, and whether or not he had those injuries the night prior at either McCarthy's or Waterfall, to which the defendant stated she didn't see any injuries on him. But then she provided a statement saying that Mr. O'Keefe bumped his head 2 nights prior and asked her about it, which to me it seemed kind of strange. But
Without the commentary,
I don't like this guy.
after she told you that Mr. O'Keefe had bumped his head 2 nights prior, and that he had asked about it or she had asked about it?
she stated that he had bumped his head 2 nights prior, and Mr. O'Keefe asked her about it.
Did she say when Mr. O'Keefe asked her about the bump on his head from the few nights before?
No, she did not.
Did the conversation conclude?
Yes, it did.
After the conversation concluded, what was your next step?
Once the conversation concluded, the defendant was advised that her vehicle is being seized, and her cell phone was also seized.
Were there any other items at that point that you were seizing other than the cell phone and the vehicle?
Not from that location, no.
Did you have a warrant at that point?
We did not, no.
Did you have authority to seize items prior to having a warrant?
Yeah, I heard that.
Well, what is the process when you want to obtain items but you don't have a warrant? What process do you go through?
We seized them to prevent any alteration, destruction of the evidence that could be contained on those items pending a warrant. They're secured, they're not touched or processed by us. The process of obtaining a warrant includes writing an affidavit justifying.
Yeah, we don't need to hear any of this part.
Understood. Did you ultimately obtain both the phone and the vehicle?
Yes, we did.
Describe how the vehicle was seized. What happened?
The defendant provided her key card. It's like a credit card size key fob for the vehicle to allow the ignition to start. It was driven onto a flatbed tow truck, secured, and then we followed it from Dayton to the Canton Police Department.
Was video ever provided that showed part of that vehicle being loaded onto the tow truck?
Yes, it was.
Have you ever reviewed that video?
Yes, I did.
I know, right,
When
Chance?
you were at Dayton and the defendant's Lexus was being put on the tow truck, about what time was that?
It was approximately 4:16,
Okay.
4:15 in the afternoon on the 29th of January, 2022.
Now, you mentioned that you took a cell phone. Are there parts or participants on the team that handle that specific type of evidence?
Yes, we have troopers that are specialized, trained, and have expertise in digital forensic analysis, extraction, and processing of digital devices.
Is that something you do?
I am trained in certain portions of it, but I am not an expert like them.
Did you manipulate the phone in any way?
No,
Did you see Mr. Proctor manipulate the phone in any way?
I don't recall seeing that, no.
Before the vehicle was moved during the loading of the tow, did either you or Mr. Proctor go back anywhere near that vehicle?
We were near the vehicle once it was unloaded, but we never touched it.
They didn't ask you that, sir. They didn't ask you that. Sidebar number 2. They didn't ask him that. Mila, you scared the shit out of me. It must be. As I find it really awkward and uncomfortable that as an officer of the law, they're allowed to not recall so much and just recall wherever they want.
That's usually how it goes.
Don't worry, we don't have to wait.
So yes,
Did you join the tow truck driver or did you keep your separate vehicle at that point?
we traveled in my. I drove my vehicle and followed the tow truck back to the Canton Police Department
Where was Mr. Proctor?
in my front passenger seat.
During that time, had you made arrangements or did you receive any information about other members of the team engaging in any searches relative to this case?
Yes, I have.
And what did you learn?
I learned that Detective Lieutenant Tully had dispatched other members of our unit to 34 Fairview and other resources from the Massachusetts State Police to assist him in a search for the missing shoe.
Do you know what time those other members arrived or began to arrive at 34 Fairview? You begin your travels at 4:15 p.m. back to the Canton Police Department. Why did you choose to bring the vehicle to the Canton Police Department if the Canton police detectives were not working on this case anymore?
They had a heated storage facility, being the Sally Port. We needed to preserve the vehicle as best we could away from the elements. And it was also in close proximity to our office. also to process the vehicle
Thank you,
and get the
Jennifer.
search warrant from the local courthouse would have been more convenient for us.
Why was a heated Sally port or a heated garage important to you?
The vehicle was impacted with snow that accumulated, and also from traveling on the highways, it was packed with a shell of snow covering the exterior of it. So it would melt away in the heated Sally port.
Were you intending on having other resources or other team members or other units available to look at the vehicle at some point?
Yes, we were.
Who were you intending? Who did you expect would have to look at the vehicle in the future?
For one, we'd have to document the exterior of it with photographs. That would be crime scene services section. We would process it for fingerprints, which would be also service the crime scene services section provides. We would, if needed, take swabs for DNA or other latent evidence. So that would be the chemist, as well as if the authority was there to process the internal workings, the computer chips, and the infotainment system of the vehicle. And that would be a digital forensics expert that's trained in that field.
Would an unheated garage or Sally port impede that?
Yes.
Given that Canton Police Department was not
You mean you didn't need a giant leaf blower?
now part of the active investigation, did you have any concerns bringing it to the Canton Police Department?
No.
You said you left Dayton at 4:15. What time approximately did you and Mr. Proctor and that Lexus arrive at the Canton heated Sallyport garage area?
We arrived at the Canton Police Department at 5:30, and the vehicle was unloaded and placed into the garage at 5:35 p.m.
Did you and Mr. Proctor go into the
Crystal.
garage?
Yes,
How are
we
you?
did.
And in the garage, what were you doing?
We helped facilitate putting
I'm going to ask you what you were doing and then what you saw Mr. Proctor doing rather than use we. I want to be very specific about what you did and saw. What were you doing?
Peachy, I can't say one way or the other. What I can say in my opinion is it wasn't Karen.
I helped put up yellow caution tape around the vehicle to prevent anyone from coming near it. And
Ever think that maybe if you guys would have done that from the get, it might have been a little bit more secure?
Were there any other persons in that area other than you and Mr. Proctor?
there were members of the Canton Police Department.
And the
Did you
Albert
make
family.
observations of the vehicle once you had it in that Sallyport area?
Yes, I did.
You mentioned that it was packed with snow. Was the snow still on it when you brought it into the Sallyport?
Yes, there was.
Did you wipe the car down or clear the car of the snow?
No,
Did you touch the vehicle in any way with your hands?
no.
Did you ever see Mr. Proctor touch that vehicle?
Kathy,
No,
at the
he did
IMO,
not.
please.
I'll sustain it. I'll strike that, ask you different ones too.
Did you ever see Michael Proctor touch that vehicle while you were in the Sallyport area?
I did not.
How long did you remain in the Sallyport area for, do you know?
We remained in the Sallyport area approximately until 5:51 and change, based on the
That's
best of
enough.
my memory.
After you left the Sallyport area, where did you go?
We left the Sally. I apologize.
Go ahead, if you can say first what you did and then wait for the next question, please.
I left the Sallyport area and proceeded inside the Canton Police Department.
Where was Mr. Proctor?
He was with me.
By your side?
Yes.
Did he ever leave your sight?
I'm sure at some point he walked away from me, but I can't. We were traveling together all day.
You went into a different part of the Canton Police Department?
Yes.
Where did you go?
Into the dispatch area, and and then the conference room upstairs later on.
Thank you for
Why
the
did you go
follow-up.
up to the conference room?
The conference room was provided for us to use as a meeting location. The members of our unit that had assisted at the 34 Fairview Road scene had traveled back to Canton Police.
Thank you for the
And we
follow-up.
were meeting there to share, exchange information based on what we had learned
Thank you.
with our portions of the investigation. That way everyone's on the same page at that point.
Gary Buckheck, Michael Proctor's supervisor of the time.
Did you meet, is this team, is it called a CERT team?
There is a CERT team.
Do you know if the CERT team was the team that went to 34 Fairview?
Yes, I do.
Did you meet with the entire CERT team that night at the Canton Police Department, or some members?
Not the entire team, no.
When you had the meeting in that room, who did you meet with?
Thank you for the follow-up.
In that room, I specifically remember being Detective Lieutenant Tully, myself, Michael Proctor, and other members of our homicide and narcotics section assigned to the Norfolk District Attorney's Office.
Did you discuss the evidence you had to that point?
Yes.
Regarding 34 Fairview Road, did you develop or decide any plans to physically go back to that area?
Yes, I did.
And what was the plan?
The plan was to take shovels and rakes and other gardening equipment and go back to that location to excavate for additional evidence.
You didn't consider a leaf blower too, sir?
When did you make the decision that you were going to go back to 34 Fairview?
Grab the Red Soul
It
cups.
was that evening.
Why did you decide you were going to go back at some point?
During the recall of all the information learned and sharing of that information with other members of our investigative team, it was realized that Mr. O'Keefe was wearing a black baseball hat, and at this point in time, that article of clothing was still missing.
Was there something impeding a full and complete investigation of the scene?
Like a search
34
warrant
Fairview?
Yes.
in the house?
Yes, the heavy, large amount of snow that had accumulated over the last 12 hours or so heavily hindered our investigation of that immediate scene.
When you were debriefed, did you learn the area where the CERT team had spent most of their time searching?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, sir?
When you were debriefed, were you informed the area that the CERT team spent most of their time searching?
I don't recall on the specifics of it, no.
Now, at some point, did you obtain a registry of motor vehicle record and certificate for the Lexus that you had towed?
Yes, we did.
May I approach?
Yes.
So do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
If you can take a look at the following pages. And what is that, sir?
It is the Massachusetts Registry of Motor Vehicle title, history, and registration inquiry for a black and color Lexus LX year model 2022, bearing Massachusetts registration 3GC684, registered to Karen Reed.
Brian, this document is evidence?
No, just
Thank you. part of your continued investigation, did you have an opportunity to obtain documents and items?
Yes,
Did you listen to audio recordings that were included statements of the defendant?
yes, I did.
Did you listen to audio recordings from different sources?
Yes, I did.
What do some of those sources include?
Dateline 2020, Gretchen Voss, Fox 25, various media platforms.
I want to walk
His-
through
his
some
face
of the
is
evidence
cocky as
in
hell.
chronological order of date. So going back to June 29th, 2022, at the hospital, you obtained some items.
Yes, sir.
Did you bring those items with you today?
Yes, I did.
I want to talk about the progress of those items from when you first obtained them until today. You mentioned that there were clothes that you obtained at the hospital of Mr. O'Keefe,
Yes, sir.
and you shared with us that they were wet. You put them in bags.
Yes, sir.
That night, where did those clothes go when you left the hospital?
Those clothes, while bagged up, they remained in the back cab portion behind my driver's seat of my pickup truck.
Are you
on the
serious?
floorboard.
Where did you bring them that night?
That bag containing all those clothing traveled with me around the area as we investigated, and then after the debrief at Canton PD, we brought them directly here to the Canton office of the district attorney.
Did you have those items with you at the Canton Police Department?
They were in my truck. I didn't bring them into the
Did they remain in your truck while you were in the Canton Police Department?
Once I placed that bag in the back of my truck, I did not touch it until I removed it from the truck at the Canton District Attorney's office to bring it
You're
in.
never supposed
When
to
did you
carry
remove it from your truck and bring it into the District Attorney's office?
with evidence inside a person?
Probably around 8 p.m. on the 29th of January 2022.
When you brought the
Okay,
clothes
so
inside,
before-
where did you bring them?
We brought him to the temporary evidence processing area within the District Attorney's office in the State Police section of the office where we have our desks and workspaces. There's a designated area at the time for evidence processing.
What did you do with the clothes once you got them into the secure area in the District Attorney's office?
Once the clothing was in that secure area, we had to lay them out to dry.
The amount of times he's rolled his eyes at the defense is just hilariously sad. Sadly
I had
hilarious.
to lay them out to dry them. So I took a butcher paper, laid it out on the floor, and each item I removed and laid out onto that butcher paper to dry.
Was anybody with you helping you?
Yes,
And who's that?
Micah Proctor.
Why did you lay out the clothing items one by one separately?
Each clothing item needs to dry naturally and prevent moisture from being trapped. That moisture, if trapped, could develop mold and damage any DNA evidence that we could retrieve. Scientists could retrieve from the item. To prevent that, we dried each item individually, separating each item for better airflow.
Excuse me, sir, before you continue, I'm being asked to ask you if you know what chain of custody is.
How long did it take for those items to dry?
Several days.
And were they in that secure area on the butcher paper for several days?
Yes, sir.
Are there times when that separate area was left alone, nobody watching?
Yes.
Were those clothes ultimately moved from that area?
Ultimately, they were moved, yes.
Did you personally remove them from that area?
No, I did not.
Thank you for the
Did you know if
follow.
they were bagged and put into evidence?
I do know they were bagged and put into evidence.
Is there an evidence locker at that office?
Yes, there is.
Is it a secure area?
Yes, it is.
Thank
Does
you.
every officer or trooper have access to that evidence room?
No, they did not.
Did you again see those items at a later date?
Yes, I did.
And have you seen those items since?
Yes, I have.
The items, the clothing items you took from the hospital, do you remember what items they were?
Yes, I do.
Can you share with us your memory of what items they are?
It was a two-tone gray sweatshirt, light material sweatshirt. It was an orange t-shirt. It was a
I know, Renee.
pair of blue jeans, a belt, and a pair of underwear boxers.
And did you bring those clothing items with you today?
Welcome back.
Yes, I did.
Beginning with the pants, do you have them with you up at the stand, Mr. O'Keefe's pants?
Yes.
Could you produce it, please?
Yes, sir.
Do you have gloves, Trooper Mechanic?
That's
Yes, I
actually a really reasonable question, Allison. Sadly, that's a reasonable question for this group here. Now you want to use gloves. Good morning, Glam. Yeah, don't. We start late so we get to skip all the breaks. So don't spoil, please don't spoil it. We already feel it coming. They say she hit her with her car. Hit him with her car while she was backing up and she didn't know after a night of drinking. It's ridiculous. And her taillight's busted. That's the only damage to the vehicle. And that's it. All that to
I
him?
move this item into evidence. With the court's permission, I'd ask the trooper to show the item to the jury.
Yeah, everything is allegedly. That's why I said they said. Good morning. How are you? They had it in the Sally Port as well. The question is, did they use their leaf blower on the car too? And yes, I will make those leaf blower references. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Sorry, I saw the light went red, so I stopped it to disconnect from the home Wi-Fi. We are about, I want to say 45 minutes or so into this right here. This is still the first witness. This is Michael Proctor, supervisor. The fact that he even laid them out on the butcher paper one by one, left them there to dry, where anybody, just anybody at all, could just stroll on in and look at, touch. It's just asinine to me.
The biggest problem is the fact that he left it alone inside his personal vehicle. They're
Yeah.
not supposed to do that.
Yeah, leaving it alone in his personal vehicle all day and driving around with it, just sitting in the back of the truck.
I believe that's against policy.
Oh, they've already broken a lot of policies. We also have had several witnesses perjure themselves. Nope, there's no good chain of anything with
Did
this
you learn
case.
during your conversations with the CERC team and other members of the team that a sneaker was found at 34 Fairview?
Yes, I did.
Have you seen the photographs relative to that sneaker?
Yes, I have.
And you mentioned when you were at the hospital, there was a sneaker? One?
Yes,
I said that
You
to
have that
Alicia.
sneaker with you?
I do.
Could you produce it, please?
Yes, sir.
I'd move this item into evidence.
Guys, I just showed you what they used to collect all the evidence that they so securely kept in the Sally Port. By that sarcasm, that means it wasn't kept securely. It was all spread out in the open. And how they got it there was red Solo cups, a leaf blower, and the Stop and Shop bag. So how the hell could they possibly convict anybody when they treat the evidence this way? So one of you said earlier that if I was the O'Keefe family, I would be pissed. And I would too, because look at how this case has been handled from the get-go.
Would I have the court's permission for the trooper to show to the jury?
Mila, no closet, ma'am. No, I think she just wanted in. If you guys missed any of the previous days in this trial, they're on my YouTube. I put them up every day after the live is over. After, waiting to upload it and then re-download it. So, we're being the virtual jury. So, please, guys, no spoilers.
You little turd.
What?
She managed to figure it out.
Right. Now Mila can open and close 2 doors in our house.
Trooper, is that the sneaker that was at the hospital when you visited Mr. O'Keefe?
I'm not sure, Sherry.
No, so this is the sneaker from 34 Fair.
Can I have that marked? What, is that a left or a right sneaker, sir?
I'm not sure.
This is the left sneaker. Excuse me, this is the right sneaker from 34 Ferry Road, Kansas.
Sidebar. Number 3 or 4? I'm losing count again.
4, I think.
User, I'm glad that you typed that because I've been waiting for one of you to say that about the shoe being that clean since they started showing the shoe. I've just been waiting for somebody else to call it.
Well, not only that, he said, it's interesting how they said that he was knocked out of his shoe, but they wanted to say how unsafe it was to travel at a fast rate. So if she accidentally backed into him,
Going like 25 miles an hour in reverse.
yeah, that's not possible.
And he has all those cuts down his arm.
Yeah, no.
And they collected some of the pieces the second time they came back, and then 40 additional pieces just so happened to be turned into.
There's a lot of stuff that's not making any sense whatsoever. And if anybody who is, with some common sense in the jury, they're just going to look at this and go, yeah, you guys are stupid.
So, do we all agree that if the jury does convict Karen Read at this point in time, at what we know right now, is if they had to make a decision right now, that if, for some reason, they believe she was guilty, can we all collectively say that our system would be broken then? Because there's got to be some kind of stop from this, there has to be some kind of system, and sadly, it seems like the whole system from Canton broken. But that's just an opinion. In short, Crystal, that's what I'm saying. Are we all thinking that same thing? They had a whole party there. Only if convicted and trying to reconvict, or being found innocent and then being found guilty. I don't know what kind of dog. I believe it was a German Shepherd though, and I am not a remote control. Yeah, Chloe. This is a long sidebar here, guys. Dog disappeared. Chloe's gone. Yep. They're starting. Obviously, you care, user. You took the time to type out who cares, so obviously you do.
Thank you.
Monica, can you message that to me? Yes, we can block the user. Okay, bye-bye, user. You lost your privilege to be here. I'm not gonna give warnings no more.
Yeah,
He's already gone. He's gone, guys. He's already gone. I'll probably just make another account and come back in. I'll block him then too. I really don't give a damn. They don't realize that actually interacting in my chat helps it, so they're actually helping the live. Counterproductive of their goal, though. Welcome back. Oh no. I hope he's okay. It's like, no, you might, no, listen, guys. I think the fan is trying to tell us that we're all hot. That's got to be the reason they keep pointing at us to look at it, right?
I am, thank you, Your Honor.
That was a very long sidebar. Included in fast forwarding, too.
Sir, when we left, we were discussing Mr. O'Keefe's sneaker that you retrieved from the Good Samaritan Hospital.
Yes, sir.
Would that be his right sneaker?
It would be his right sneaker.
Do you have that sneaker with you today?
I do.
And again, could you open that bag and show that right sneaker?
He got it from the
Yes, sir.
hospital. Let me see. Monica, you're 16.
Is that the sneaker you retrieved from the Good Samaritan Hospital?
It is.
You are welcome.
I'd move that into evidence, please.
Okay,
Thank
any objections,
you.
Mr. Jackson? All right, thank you.
Nope, didn't hear. If I did hear, then it will be considered cheating, as we are the virtual jury and we're not supposed to research it.
Trooper Buchanan, there are two more items.
Thank you,
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Wilson.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Trooper Buchanan, there are two more items that you retrieved of John O'Keefe's clothing from the Good Samaritan Hospital. Did you bring those two items with you?
Yes, sir.
Are those two the items that you laid out on butcher paper to dry?
Yes, they are.
Were they ultimately bagged and put into evidence?
Yes, they were.
And did you bring Mr. O'Keefe's
We do only need one
T-shirt?
more.
Yes, I did.
Is it placed in an object so it can be seen?
Yes, it was.
What type of object?
It's a transparent plastic sheet.
I would move
Thank
the T-shirt
you,
into
Kat.
evidence.
We knocked that goal out. Thanks, guys.
Can I show it to the jury?
Yes.
You guys went to the degree to put it in that, but you didn't do it for any other piece.
Could you show the back as well, Trooper? Thank you.
Mr. Brennan, did you
Thank
assist?
you.
Of course.
Thank you. You use red solo cups to collect evidence, but you use plexiglass for. Okay. All right. How is this actually all
Mechanic,
happening?
is there a last piece of item of Mr. O'Keefe that you took from the Good Samaritan Hospital?
Yes, it is.
And what is it?
It's the sweatshirt.
I'd move that into evidence, Your Honor. Court's permission?
Yes.
Red solo cups and Stop and Shop's bags, but for the clothing, we'll go the extra mile.
Yes.
It's the same here as Michelle's Criminal Musings. The link is also in my bio. It's hard to tell, but there are dark stains.
Oh, okay.
It would need to be tested, but it would be compromised at this point. Is this 4 or 5? Sidebar.
5, I think.
Evidence that
You're
you're
welcome.
getting recorded, and we have to keep a very clear record. So sometimes we spend time that may seem like a waste of time to you, but it's very, very important for the case. So we do appreciate your patience. All right, go ahead, Mr. Brennan.
Thank you. Trooper Mechanic, you shared with us that you met with some of the members
so.
of the state police that night and then returned to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office to put the clothing on butcher paper, you call it. What was your next step in your investigation?
We met and discussed the next steps. My decision was to go back to 34 Fairview
You said
and
it's a yes.
excavate for the missing clothing item being Mr. O'Keefe's hat. There was also plans to start writing search warrants.
Did the weather get better over the next couple days?
The weather did take a turn for the warmer temperatures, yes.
Did you return to Fairview a few days later on February 3rd?
Yes, I did.
Was that the first time you personally had visited 34 Fairview?
Yes, it was.
When you went to 34 Fairview on February 3rd, 2022, do you remember about what time in the morning you went?
Sometime between 8:30, 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30.
When you went there, did you travel with anybody?
Yes.
Who did you travel with?
It was other members of my unit and a member from crime scene services.
Did you all travel in the same vehicle or did you meet there?
We all traveled in our own issued cruisers.
Was this a planned search or a planned
you,
excavation
Tanya.
on February 3rd,
Yes, it was.
2022?
Yes, it was.
Who was there at the scene, 34 Fairview, with you?
It was Trooper DeChico, Mike Proctor, and Trooper Evan Brent.
And Trooper Evan,
Brent.
Brent. Was Trooper Brent the photographer?
Yes.
What type of tools did you bring when you went to 34 Fairview?
Leaf blower.
We brought snow shovels, garden shovels. I brought a like an E-tool, military style E-tool.
Was there still some snow on the ground?
There was, yes.
Did you and the members of the group begin to look for any evidence?
Yes, we did.
Were you looking on the street or did you move to more on the grass? What area were you focused on at this point?
We were focused on the lawn portion of the
Oh, wow.
property by, in the vicinity of the flagpole, the fire hydrant, and along the edge of the asphalt.
Did you see a berm, an asphalt berm separating the concrete street and the yard?
Yes,
Were you looking anywhere near the area of the berm?
we did, yes.
Were you looking anywhere on the street?
The street was plowed, but portions of the street still had remnants of snow, so we did check that area, but it was much easier to identify anything because it was clear of snow.
How about a hair dryer or a vacuum for 2,000, Alex?
Where was most of your focus?
On the lawn.
As you worked your way through the lawn, did you or members of your team come across any items that you believe to be evidence?
Yes,
I'm going to ask you to produce some of that evidence to us. Beginning with 535, did you find a number of pieces of plastic?
yes,
Could you produce 535?
yes, sir.
This must be the 40 extra pieces they found. Honestly, I just can't even.
Let me just ask you a couple questions before you open that. If somebody identified an object that they believe to be evidence, what was the process of handling it?
On this day, we identified evidence. The process would have been documenting each item that was located with photographs. Then one of the members of the individuals present would bag each item into a paper bag.
When they were bagged, were the person bagging them use any type of protection like you're using?
Absolutely, every time.
After the items were bagged, was the bag sealed?
Eventually it was sealed, yes.
When you say eventually, what does that mean?
Once it was, all the items were inside and it was brought back to the office, it would be sealed, signed, completely filled out with all the pertinent information on the back.
Could you open that bag?
Yes, sir.
And anybody has access to it.
You know, it's supposed to be sealed as soon as they're done collecting evidence.
Before you take the pieces out, I'm asking you to look in. Do you recognize those pieces?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize them to be?
I recognize them to be the items that we recovered from the lawn area on the left side of 34 Fairview Road on February 3rd, 2022, during the planned excavation of the property.
Days
Were they
later.
photographs before they were put in that bag?
They were.
Your Honor, may I approach before Superintendent
Yes.
opens that bag or goes through it?
I bet you these 40 extra pieces are like a fragment of like a hangnail. This is the justice system for Canton. This is the police force for Canton.
What state is it?
Massachusetts.
Jeez.
Hand you a series of photographs and ask you to take a look at them and see if you recognize them.
You know what's funny? Before this case, I saw a video that was in a Massachusetts town, and I remember thinking, I should tell Aaron we should move there. It looks so
I do
friendly.
recognize them.
Those photographs.
The photographs depict items collected from the lawn at 34 Fairview on February 3rd, 2022.
Do those particular photographs correspond with the pieces of items that are in that bag?
They do.
I move this series of photographs and evidence.
Yeah, that would be a polite pass. I literally am trying to hold all my thoughts in now. And to keep doing this.
You haven't heard the nickname we give people in Massachusetts.
What?
So Mainers have a
My husband is from Maine.
yes. We have a nickname for people from Massachusetts, and we always saw them all the time on the roads. We call them massholes.
Sit down. What the hell is that?
I think the grate for the
Yep.
Those items, were they
I'm looking at it
eventually sent for analysis to a Massachusetts State Police lab?
Yes, they were.
When the laboratory received those items, are you familiar whether they marked them with a label or a number for identification?
They call themselves massholes.
Yes, they mark each item
Wait, what?
individually.
Do
Jody
those
says they
items
call
have
themselves
markings
that.
on them reflected by an item number?
That's kind of weird.
Not
Yes, they
really.
are.
When you refer to a piece, will you refer to that item number that is on any individual piece?
Once it's labeled,
No.
it is identified by that individual piece, by that designated label.
So if there's any numbers written on any of those pieces, was that written by you?
No.
Would that have been written by somebody else after it was sent?
Yes, at the lab.
If we can begin, if you can begin to take the pieces out so we can show them to the jury. And does that have a number on it or a tag?
Yes, it does. This is item 22-02-184-7-8, also alphanumeric A.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I can't with these people anymore.
Thank you.
Remember, they collected an extra 40 when they went back.
These two are taped together.
When you found them, were they taped together?
No. They're taped together by the lab.
Did she have part of her tail light that was black? That was the piece that was just showed to us.
There's also a canister labeled debris collection. That number is 22-02-184-7-8.1.
I'm not sure, Joe. At this point,
This is 7-8G.
yeah.
This is 7-8N as in November.
And it's not their first time either.
There are also items too small to label with a letter and number. Those were put into a bag like this. Almost looks like a stamp bag, wax.
Are you effing with me? It's a little tiny sliver in that white bag. It's like you can't even make it out from this far away. Even if I zoomed in, you guys won't be able to make it out. I just wanted to make sure y'all saw that part.
Stamp bag.
Your taxpayer
Those are
dollars
that bag.
hard at work.
Altogether, there are,
I've seen that.
it does look like those are all the items. Some of them are inside the canister that I pulled up.
Understood. You know how to move those items into evidence, please? Sir, you mentioned that there was a trooper there photographing the evidence.
Yes, sir.
Did the photographer take a photograph of the items in place when they were found, or were the items moved to a different location before they were photographed?
That day, every item was photographed where it was found.
With the court's permission, I'd like to show a number of exhibits to the jury.
Okay.
Starting with Exhibit 89, which is P490-7690.
Thank you, Kat. We got a flash goal, guys. 40 different heart me's.
Trooper, is that one of the items you found that morning?
Yes, it is.
Do you know where, in relation to the fire hydrant or the flagpole, this item was recovered?
How could they? They were little slivers. They can't put it together. There's just no way.
It
And
was
I
in the
think that's what
general
they're counting
vicinity
on.
between the flagpole and the fire hydrant. The area we were
Thank you.
excavating was approximately 40 to 50 square feet in area.
32 more.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is the item that you recovered on top of that leaf?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I already sent mine with my backup.
Thank you.
Thank
If I can
you,
next show
Julie.
Exhibit 90, which is P492-7692.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Amber.
Before we close up, sir, is that the fire hydrant that is at the corner of 34 Fairview Road?
Yes, it is.
Could we close up, please, on that? Why is there a ruler on the ground?
The ruler is utilized to help put the item to scale by the photographer from Crime Scene Services. They utilize
Thank you,
these
Kathy.
Measuring
Thank
rulers
you,
for
Jeremiah.
scale of the item that you're looking at. Sometimes it's hard to depict how large an item is if there's no reference point.
Could we do a little bit further view to show the fire hydrant? Thank you. Is that where this piece of evidence was found, in that exact
Thank you,
location?
Mama Bear.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'd like next to show to the jury Exhibit 91, which is P515-7721.
This is a couple days later. It's
You recognize
melting.
that piece of evidence?
Yes, sir.
Could we zoom in, please? Is that the same piece of evidence that is depicted in Exhibit 89, P490-7690, a different angle with the ruler?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. If we could have Exhibit 92, please, which is P493-7694. Could you zoom in, please? Is that piece of evidence in the bag that you've provided as evidence, physical evidence?
Yes, sir.
Was this found near the area of the other pieces?
Yes, it was.
If we could show Exhibit 93, P507-7711, please.
Can we make our 11th flash goal getting beat today, guys?
Could you zoom in, please?
This will be our 11th time completing one.
How long did you spend that day looking, you and the team, for pieces of
The heart
evidence?
me's.
Probably 45 to an hour.
And finally, if I could show Exhibit 94, P503-7707.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Kat.
And could you zoom in, please?
Exactly, Kathy. I did too,
And
Lisa,
this
for my
piece of
backup.
evidence, where in relation to the other pieces
Thank you,
was it
guys.
found?
In the same vicinity.
What is that
Thank you.
humming
Could you take
noise?
that down, please?
Yeah, I think it's somebody doing.
Well, they need to stop.
When you were searching, did you find any item
I did it too,
near the
Audra.
street area?
Yes, we did.
What did you find?
A black plastic drinking straw.
Could you retrieve 536 for us, please?
My opinion is not guilty. Thank you, Robbie. 17 more? Could we get 17 more?
I've moved this piece of evidence into.
No, we have 17.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, let's get it paused.
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Let's wait till it's moved.
I don't know how any jury could find her guilty with all the collection errors and just plain
Yes, I did.
laziness and
It's a photograph of
Yeah.
the black drinking straw that we found at 34 Fairview on February 3rd, 2022.
What location did you find this?
It was close to
I believe
the
so, Susan. Thank
paved
you.
berm on the street.
This is after the street was plowed.
Yes, it was.
I think this is the evidence. This is the video, please. No judgment.
After having a whole party, they find it. Yeah. Now you want to use gloves. Okay.
I'd ask you to open this and show it to the jury.
Yes, sir.
23 more heart me's and we'll beat this goal. This will be our 11th time beating it. I know a lot of people beat it a lot more, but this is 11's pretty big for us. We're late starters on the whole flash goal thing. I know. No, only one per day. That's why we need it to be 23 different people. It has to be 23 different people sending just one. We can't have one person send 23, sadly. Thank you, Nicholas. Are you serious? Is that a coffee stirrer straw?
With the court's permission, I'd like to show Exhibit 98 to the jury.
Okay.
And that is P4887688.
Cocktail straw. Thank you, Lisa. You knew where I was
So if you Look
going.
at that photograph. And Ms. Gilman, could you close?
Please tell me that's not on the street.
Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
I do.
And what is that?
That is the photograph of the straw we picked up from the street in front of 34 Fairview Road.
Could we zoom out a little bit, please, Ms. Gilman?
Thank you, Nicholas.
Is that the area where you or your team recovered that straw?
That is exactly where it was found and recovered from.
And run
That
over.
photograph doesn't show much of the grass area.
And blown
How far is that
away.
area from
With the
fire
leaf
hydrant?
blower.
It's probably, with my estimate, 15 feet, maybe 20 from the fire hydrant. It's probably 15 to 20 feet. if I had to
22
estimate.
more.
Thank you.
22 more. in 6 minutes, and we'll knock this goal completely
You
out and have
mentioned
our
that one
11th
of the
win.
items that you went back to Fairview to try
Thank
to
you,
find
Jules.
was a hat.
Thank you,
Why were you
Barbie.
specifically looking for a hat?
I had
Thank
learned
you,
that
Lauren.
Mr. O'Keefe was wearing a black baseball hat the night
Thank you for the
prior
follow.
to the incident. So with us recovering the clothing from the hospital and the hat was not part of that pile of clothing, we needed to see where the hat was. That could have been a lead.
Thank
That
you,
could be
badass.
a clue of where Mr. O'Keefe was last prior to being discovered.
Did you or the team ultimately find a hat that morning?
Yes.
Could I have you produce
Thank you,
537?
Emerson.
Yes, sir.
I already sent mine for my backup too, so I can't send it again.
All right, move that item into evidence.
So this is going to be
Thank you,
96.
cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lacey. When the hell did they get the hat?
With the court's permission, McKenna, could you open that and show it to the jury?
I must have like zoned out. Ooh, 15 more? We only need 15 more heart meets by 15 different people. It's one coin. If we can get 15 people, 14 people, thank you, Lisa. We could do this. I have no idea, user. I'm hoping they're going to tell us.
All I know is I feel bad for that policeman when he gets that cross because they're gonna ask him why they didn't collect everything within the first
Thank you, Jody.
several hours if evidence is.
No, it was within days.
Yes, I know. They're not supposed to take days.
Was that item
and-
photographed?
That's the whole point of this.
Yes, it was.
When that
Thank you,
was
Corey.
taken from the scene, was the same method used of using gloves and putting it in a bag?
Yes, it was.
When the item was photographed, was
Which
it
time? That was
photographed
the
from the place
question.
that it was found?
Yes, it was.
May I approach your honor?
Yes.
That humming is getting to me.
So I'm showing you a series
Don't
of
worry,
photographs.
Parker, it's okay.
Look at it.
We're good.
First one, you recognize that photograph?
12 more.
I do.
What is it?
It's the accumulated snow that was being excavated at the scene where we located Mr. O'Keefe's hat.
Let's just not pretend that you guys were in the middle of Ice Age and needed to get yourselves out to get to stuff that was 500 feet under.
The second photo is a close-up of Mr. O'Keefe's hat, flattened and frozen to the ground with portions of it exposed from underneath the piled up snow.
Third photo.
Third photo is also of the hat once it's been removed, and you can see the thin blue line, American flag on the front of the hat, and the Nike swoosh on the brim.
He is going to have fun.
And the fourth photograph is also a close-up of the top of the hat with a scale ruler next to it, with grass showing it from underneath the hat.
We might not get to 12 today, guys. We only have 2 more minutes.
All right, move these 4 photographs into evidence.
Okay. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
We would need 12 heart meets.
There's 4
In 2
segments.
minutes.
ABC.
I don't know. Thank you, Crystal. We need 11 more. one coin from 11 different people for the Heart Me. It would make it number 11 for our goals. Thank you, Florida girl. And you can't send it twice. So if you're trying to send it twice, we can't do that. It doesn't let us. He should be looking uncomfortable.
99A through 99D so far.
Once the defense gets it,
Mhm.
that's it. He's gonna go under fast.
With the court's
I think so,
permission, I'd
too.
like to show these photographs to the jury.
10 more, guys.
Beginning with 99A, P5267733, please. Could you close up just a little bit, please? Sir, can you describe what you see here?
Yes, that's the excavation track by one of the members at the scene. You could see the hat frozen flat to the bottom, or on the bottom of the snow, right on top of the grass. It was under approximately 1.5 feet of snow that had accumulated in the area.
About that high up.
We can next show 99B.
Nope, double that.
777735.
This is again, the close-up of the frozen flat
That high.
hat to the grass at 34 Fairview Road.
Thank you, Miss Jackson. 9
Yes,
more,
it's
guys, in
99
12
feet.
seconds.
P5297739, please.
Once pulled out and flipped over, again, this is the same hat belonging to Mr. O'Keefe that was discovered frozen flat to the grass at the scene.
Thank you for trying, y'all, and thank you for those that sent them. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You can take that down.
We'll
please.
try for goal number 11 next time. Do they only do those once a day? I think they do them once a day.
Did you search the entire front lawn at that time?
No, we did not.
I don't ask
So we
for
can see from those
anything. I
photographs,
don't like
there's-
it.
There's still snow in that yard?
Yes.
As you continued your investigation, did you continue to go back to Fairview over time?
Yes,
Okay.
based on the amount of snow still present and the fact that we were finding pieces of broken taillight and glass at the scene, and items that we did not expect to find, like a cocktail glass straw. I directed my members to go by the scene every day as the temperatures rose. Snow would expose more evidence on the lawn, and with the hopes of finding each and every item that
It's called a flash goal. It's a new thing that TikTok does.
was present.
On February 4th, the next day, 2022, did you receive a call?
Yes, I did.
Not what was said, but who was that call from?
I believe it was,
I don't want you to guess if you don't know. Was the person a member of any group?
yes,
From what group?
it was Canton Police.
As a result of receiving a call from the Canton Police, or someone from the Canton Police on February 4th, 2022, did you go anywhere?
I was already en route to 34 Fairview to
Thank you,
conduct a
CS.
directed check of the
Hi,
area.
When
Colleen.
you say direct a check, you drive by every day on your way to work?
I told my members on every day to work and home to make sure someone's checking the lawn, to make sure that any evidence that exposes itself through the melting snow would be identified and collected.
As you were on your way there, you received a call from someone from the Canton Police.
Yes,
Did you arrive at 34 Fairview on February 4th, 2022?
I did.
When you got there, did you see any more items?
Michael
Yes, I
Proctor's
did.
boss.
How many?
One item, a larger in size red taillight piece had revealed itself, and it was collected.
Could you produce 710, please?
Yes, sir.
Revealed itself like it has arms and legs to move around. They weren't even there for an hour. The scene was never, ever secured. They didn't even go and check the whole scene. That would have included the house. Oh, you could bet they're sitting there. It's like a tea kettle. You could almost hear it when it starts to whistle. You could almost hear how ready he is, in my opinion. It's secondhand embarrassment, Kathy. We're secondhand embarrassed for them. Thank you. Is that a Stop and Shop, sir? Wouldn't that just be something if that's what they brought it in, was the actual Stop and Shop bag? It could have been anybody. Because he can't remember who it is. It was just a person. He knows that it was a person. You know, living, breathing human being. That he thinks might have been from Canton. That he thinks could have possibly been from the scene. But we never know. How is this a
That's
real
7:10,
trial?
sir?
7-10, yes, sir.
I'd move that item into evidence, please.
It's like they don't think that we don't understand that you could dig a hole, put something down there, and then put snow back on top of it. I
With the
mean,
board's permission, could Trooper Buchanan
Jesus.
open the item and show it to the jury?
Yes.
do they think that we're that stupid? Yeah. Okay, I've decided our next sticker is going to be secondhand embarrassment. But how do I put embarrassment on a sticker? That's too long. And no one will be the wiser, that's right. I mean, this is the evidence gathering toolkit from Canton. It's evidence 101.
This is called.
A hand with the number 2. Wouldn't that do it?
Thank you.
But how deep is the question? Who does it stop with? I feel like everyone's just supposed to fall
Did
in line.
anybody photograph that item where it was found?
Yes, there was a photograph taken.
Did you take the photograph?
No, I did not.
How did you receive the photograph?
It was attached to the Canton Police reports that were provided.
Yes, user.
Canton Police documented that item in place.
May I approach?
Yes.
Catnip, tell your husband when he does get his chance to question to stay close to the microphone, because I have a feeling it's going to be good.
Showing you 2 photographs. The first case, you recognize that item?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize that case?
That was the item I collected on February 4th at 34 Fairview Road, which I was just showing to the jury.
The second photograph?
The second photograph is a zoomed out general vicinity photograph of the same item from 34 Fairview Road, the lawn area, approximately 7 feet from the roadway.
I'd like to move these to evidence. May I wait for permission?
Any objections to Judge?
No objection, Your Honor.
What do you notice?
101A and B.
No idea, Lucid. We'd have to ask somebody that hasn't signed up to be a juror because we didn't do it.
Court permission, I'd like to show those photographs to the jury.
But I really wish we did.
46, please. Is that a photograph of the item you just showed the jury, sir?
Yes, it is.
And where was it in relation to the other pieces that you had found on February 3rd?
It was further to
Yes.
the right. If you're looking at the property, if you have the fire hydrant on your left, it was further to the right, on the right bank of the snow that was melting on the lawn.
Is that on the lawn or on the pavement?
That's on the lawn.
And could we show the close-up, please, P47?
We just like to put ourselves in a parameter of importance, and we don't, before we start the trial, when we do it as a jury, we don't do any research into it. So I feel very restricted in it. So if anybody wants to be added to the jurors list and can honestly say that they haven't done research into this, let me know.
Thank you. You could take it down, please.
Even if it wasn't on the top 2 inches of snow,
When you recovered those items, did you go through the same protocol of gloves
this is
and bags?
ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Did you return to 34 Fairview on February 10th?
Yes, I did.
Was the snow in a different
That's why I
state
like
than
it
when
too,
you last
Danielle.
left it on February 3rd?
Yes, it had receded significantly.
When you went back on February 10th, were you with anybody?
I believe I was with another trooper.
You
Do you know who
believe?
that was?
I don't remember. I'd have to refresh my memory.
Was it Michael Proctor?
It might have been, yes.
Could you produce 7-11, please?
Yes, sir.
It might have been. I don't know. Are you serious with me? Like, you know what else they need to Lucid was the video from across the street. He's got a camera up too, but they never got that.
Does that bag contain some of the items you found
How does he not know? It's selective in my opinion.
on February 10th at Fairview Road?
Yes, it does.
I move that into evidence, please.
Yeah, I did. He gives that a lot. He also rolls his eyes and thinks he
Describe
doesn't like.
generally the size of the items in that bag.
Can I open it?
Please.
I did. I don't know how this isn't a movie and it's an actual trial in this country, in our government. This is something we expect to see a huge movie about, not an actual court case. Is it? You think so? I haven't watched any of their episodes on it. I actually haven't even gotten to make any videos on this myself. Not really, only little
Generally
ones.
speaking, there's 6 plastic pieces of clear and red and black items that are in size
Former
approximately
police
to like
sergeant or
$50.
captain.
Without going through every one of them.
It was
can
the
you
former
pull out
captain.
One red and one clear to show the jury a representative sample of what's in the bag. In total of the 6 items in that bag,
In total, there are 6 items in the bag.
when you retrieved those items, did you use the same protocol of gloves in a bag?
Yes.
Did you photograph these items when you took them?
Not on this day, no.
Why not?
We had been to the scene so many times. It was the same general vicinity, and we just made the decision not to have crime scene come out to photograph these six pieces.
Were they in any remarkably different position than the other pieces? Anything that stood out, or were they in the, let me rephrase that. Where were they generally in relation to the other pieces that you had found?
They were all in the general area where the other pieces had been located. It was on the left side of the lawn, up
Sorry?
near the
I said if they were in
flagpole,
the same vicinity, they would have been found
between
that
the
same
road and the home.
I believe so too.
Was there
There's a
another
blizzard.
group of
Delay
items
that
that you
out,
found
too?
that day that you put in a separate bag?
There's a blizzard happening.
Yes,
Delay that for you.
Could you provide us? May I approach? I'm not sure if I
The
marked this
police,
one for
no,
evidence.
they're supposed to continue.
This is 4 days later.
It's not more than 4 days later. They're supposed to.
Could you
If they
produce-
can't do it then, they're supposed to coordinate it all.
7-12,
By
please.
yellow.
Yes,
pin,
sir.
And no one's supposed to have access to it. But they didn't do anything.
Good catch, Tara. 5 days. Yeah, 5. Sorry. They just go back whenever somebody says, hey,
I'd move this into.
come
evidence,
on
please.
out. It's here. It's been here the whole time. You just couldn't see it. It was snowing.
With the court's permission, could Trooper Mechanic open the bag?
Yes.
And keep in mind, they never went into the Albert's house. Not once to search it, only to question. Not once. They got evidence repeatedly turning up on the lawn, and, you know.
In that bag, are there different types of items? The items you showed us before were
I
going
know.
to be plastic.
Yes, these items are packaged in wax paper. There's 14 pieces in total, and these items contain glass and plastic fragments, some of which are also within like a cylindrical tin container that you saw earlier.
Could you show us some of the glass pieces, please?
Yes, sir.
Good catch, Emily.
I'm gonna have to open the wax bag.
Please.
It's not rocket science, sir. Yes, still prosecution.
Could you stand so the people in the back can see? Thank you.
We know, we're waiting for
Number of
that part.
different items inside that are inside that bag that you found that day?
Yes, there are a number of glass pieces taped and labeled for identification at the lab and mechanically pieced together to form this one piece in my right hand, and this is one solid, thick piece of curved glass in my left hand.
Y'all, they reattached it. They reattached the little pieces to make a big piece.
And again, is this February 10, 2022?
Yes, it is.
The last evidence bag, you said that you did not photograph where they were found. Did you photograph where these pieces were found?
No, I did not.
Any
No.
different reason than the last bag?
No.
I think they used super glue.
Do you have a memory of where these items were found in relation to the items in the last bag?
Yes, they were all in the general vicinity where all the other taillight pieces were located, as well as the baseball hat.
How much snow is on the ground at this point?
Never mind.
Most of the snow had melted. There might have been some areas that was still present because of the excavation that took place. So very little to no snow was present at this point.
May I approach, Your Honor?
He's Michael Proctor, supervisor. Don't you feel more secure? I sure the hell wouldn't. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
Is that all the pieces that you have that you were part of finding or retrieving from 34 Fairview Road related to plastic or glass discovery?
Yes, sir.
Did you continue to work on this case?
Yes, I did.
At some point, did you receive video from a number of different locations?
Yes.
Where were you part of retrieving or receiving video from?
I was part of retrieving and receiving video from CF McCarthy's, the waterfall.
Monica.
There was also video that was collected from other agencies and entities.
Did you seek a search warrant or video evidence from a company called Ring?
Yes.
For what location?
For the Meadows Ave location, Mr. John O'Keefe's residence.
Did you receive video from Ring, directly from Ring?
Ring sent over files with Ring video.
Approximately 6 to 8 weeks.
Was that by link, by a computer?
I'm not sure how it came in. It was via the internet.
Did you view all of the files that were produced by Ring?
At some point, I reviewed all the files, yes.
Was that pursuant?
Did he just say he has no idea how it came in? It just came in through the internet?
Yep.
To a subpoena?
I'm sorry?
Were the Ring videos produced pursuant to a subpoena?
Just through the search warrant, yes. We requested it through the search warrant. That's the way that these providers, service providers, respond to court legal service.
Were you aware that some cruisers or the
You're good, Monica.
cruisers at the Canton Police Department
Thank
had
you,
dash cam
Dana.
video?
Yes, I am aware of it.
Did you obtain and review video?
Yes, I did.
Have you seen other video from the Canton Police Department?
Yes, I did.
At some point, were you asked if you would consent to provide your DNA?
Yes, I was, yes.
Is that uncommon in investigations?
It's not common, but situations do arise where you're asked to do that. So it's not the first time that's happened.
And what was
but
the
it has happened
situation,
before
sir?
where a law enforcement individual officer has to provide DNA, and they consent.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Did you review any other materials in this case? Did you review any reports?
I did review reports, yes.
Did you write reports in this case?
Yes, I did.
Now, I want to ask you about Michael Proctor. You had told us that you were working on this investigation with him.
Yes, I was.
Are you still working on this investigation with him?
No, I'm not.
You were Michael Proctor's supervisor?
Yes, I was.
When you work for the state police, you have a personal phone and a phone that is provided to you by the state police?
Yes.
The state police phone, is that a work phone?
Yes, it is.
What type of information do you receive on that phone?
You can receive communications via email, text message, cell phone, tower, voice communications.
No.
Do
Prosecution.
officers communicate with each other at times on those work phones?
Yes, they do.
And during that time, did you have a work phone that you were using for communications?
Yes, I did.
My bags are
At some
awful.
point, did you receive or were you placed on an email chain that included Michael Proctor and others?
I believe it was a text chain.
I'm sorry, a text chain.
Yes.
Were you included on a text chain involving Michael Proctor and others?
Yes, I was.
Did you receive a text or a text chain from Michael Proctor and other people?
Yes, I did.
I sure see him.
And when you received a text, do you remember where you were when you received the text chain?
The specific one you're referring to, I was at the Logan Airport working a traffic detail.
Sir, how are you going to presume to know which one he's thinking about?
When you received that text-to-text chain, did you respond?
What with everything in the
I,
news, and did he? I don't
Acknowledged the
understand it.
text. I did not respond
Thank
through with verbiage.
And then during that text chain,
I have no idea.
look at the entire text chain?
No, the
Quickly.
text message came through on my Apple Watch as I was controlling traffic. I glanced at it, took part of the information that came through, and acknowledged it with a thumbs up emoji, indicating that I read it.
How are
Sometimes
no?
learn
You
everything
can't assume what people. Oh, for the love of
that's
God!
on that text chain.
Yes,
And as a result of that
Text
text
chain.
chain, was there an investigation?
there was.
And during that investigation, you were Michael Proctor's supervisor?
I was.
After the investigation was done, did the state police make any finding against you for that text chain?
Yes, there were 2 sustained findings as a result of that investigation.
Did you initiate that text chain?
No, I don't believe so.
You did react with a thumbs up?
I acknowledged the text message that he sent, or portion of the information that came through on my watch.
And the 2 sustained findings against you, was one of them for failure to adequately supervise?
Yes,
And the other, was it regarding a routine or regular review that it didn't consider that text chain? I was
He did.
raised-
Okay.
That second sustained finding, was it regarding a review of the performance level of Mr. Proctor?
that's correct.
Sustained is.
You guys, I think it's time to start getting the cashew out. I can't contain my thoughts anymore, so I'm gonna stuff my mouth with cashews. More
Was there a
specifically,
second sustained finding?
Yes, there was.
Did it relate to the review process of a subordinate?
that's what I was saying, Lisa.
Sustained is to full.
What was that second sustained finding about?
The accuracy of the review of the quarterly performance evaluation.
You said quarterly. How often would you guys reviews for subordinates?
Every 90 days.
Was there any other sustained finding against you?
No,
Was there punishment in light of those 2 sustained findings against you?
there was.
And what was that punishment?
I lost 5 vacation days.
You presently work in the homicide division of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office.
I do.
Are you currently a sergeant?
I am.
Have you ever reviewed that entire chain that was at issue?
Only through the documents provided for me during the internal investigation.
I wish we were.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
They're thinking if we get it before the defense, it's not gonna have as much weight.
Yes, So I'm going to ask you to take a look at that document. And if you turn the page, does it begin to, one more page, please. Does it begin to reflect the email chain?
Yes, it does.
Do you remember this email chain?
I remember seeing it when I reviewed it. I don't remember the intricate details of these messages.
Do you remember that photograph?
I don't.
Okay, could you turn the page? Is there text?
Yes, there is.
Without citing the phone numbers, I'd like you to cite the author of the text, and I'd like you to read the text to the jury.
Do you want me to date it in time or no?
Sure.
August 17th, 2022, 9:44 p.m., 25 seconds. Funny, I am going through his retarded client's phone.
I'd like you to read all of them, please.
Next one, no nudes so far. I hate that man. I truly hate him.
And can you give the author for each comment? And can you start again, because I want us to understand.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The author, whoever makes the comment, I'd like to have the
It's a good thing I got my
name of
cashews.
the author.
I'm sorry, this document does not identify who the author is, sir.
Yes.
Yep, they're cops.
It identifies this as your phone,
That is, yes.
but each comment doesn't identify who sent it.
No, it does not. I assume it's an extraction from one device, but
I see. If you made any of the comments yourself, would you tell us?
if I made those comments,
No, if you make any of them in here, as you read them, you point out if you.
absolutely, yes.
And we're just supposed to take your word for it.
Okay. And if you don't know who made the comment, could you just identify that for us as you read it so we know?
Okay, do you want me to continue to the next page?
Why don't we start over, because I should have been more clear in my direction. Could you begin again?
So in the beginning, it says, funny, I am going through his retarded client's phone.
Is that your comment?
No, it is not.
Okay, next.
It appears to be the same person because of the way that the extraction happens, and it says no nudes so far. Again, this, I believe it's the same person because all of these are identified as sent. It says, I hate that man. I truly hate him.
Do you have any belief that's Michael Proctor who was writing these?
Yes, I believe that is.
Next, please.
There is a blank page, and that's the end. Yes, sir.
Did you say you were
His phone.
suspended 5 days or lost 5 days vacation?
Lost 5 days of vacation.
And have you continued on your cases?
Yes, I have.
I want to go back to the evidence that you reviewed in this case.
Okay.
Did you get to look at the Ring video for John O'Keefe's home at Meadows?
Yes, I did.
Did you review the video over a period of time of January 28th and January 29th?
I did.
What were you looking
I agree,
for?
Allison.
We were looking for activity to get a timeline. During investigations, different sources provide you information that can develop into leads, but also help
So are we to assume that you develop a timeline the same way Jen McCabe does?
to verify witness statements. It helps verify information's coming in. We always trust, but we always verify the information that we take in from individuals we do not know. So although it could be a cooperating witness, you still have to verify that their information is accurate. Not that they might be intentionally misleading you, but 3 people can watch the same event and observe it differently. So it's good to talk to individuals and pick up on different facts that they remember, giving you a whole picture of what took place.
Did you review Ring video for January 28, 2022 and January 29, 2022?
I did.
With the court's permission, I'd like to show a number of segments of the video from January 28, 2022.
Okay, the one that's already in evidence?
It is, it's Exhibit 6.
No. We start late so we can get through the breaks.
When you reviewed the video from the Ring, that Ring provided for Mr.
Oh, okay.
O'Keefe's home on Meadows, for January 28, 2022, did you review it from the morning time at about 7:18:55 throughout the evening?
On the 28th?
Yes.
Yes.
Look at video
Thank you,
119.
Netter.
Thank you. After that video, did you have an opportunity to look at video at about 5:05 p.m.?
I'm sorry, there was a noise coming from the bag. over
Ring
there.
doorbell.
Apologize.
At John's.
Can you repeat that question?
Sure. On January 28, 2022, did you have a chance to look at video from the Ring at about 5:05 p.m.?
Yes.
Could I have video 145, please?
Go get the cake, Kathy. Good catch, Brandy. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you, Ms. Gilman. There's more video. Did you have a chance to look at video from a little later that evening, 7:36 p.m.?
Yes, I did.
Could we have video 149, please?
The Ring doorbell from John O'Keefe's house. You're welcome. I'm not sure what it's supposed to show yet because it's still rolling. All I saw was one
In your
vehicle pull up.
investigation, did you learn that the defendant's phone connected to Mr. O'Keefe's Wi-Fi at his house on January 29, 2022 at 12:36:39?
Yes.
Did you look for any Ring video for that time, 12:36:39?
Yes.
Was there any Ring video on the production that was sent to you by Ring for the time period of around 12:36:39 on the evening of January 29, 2022?
There was no Ring video for that time frame.
Did you look for Ring video around 5:07:58 that morning on January 29, 2022?
Yes, I did.
Could we see video 153, please?
Right, Amanda?
Did you review that video from 5:07:58?
Yes,
Did you later review video of 5:46:29?
yes.
Could we play number 154, please? Could you stop that, please? Do you recognize what's in that video?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
That is, top left corner is Mr. John O'Keefe's vehicle. Middle left side of the screen is a black Lexus SUV registered to Karen Reed with the license plate based on that registration. And then on the right side, I believe that's Miss Carrie Roberts' vehicle.
Did you see the people enter the house?
Yes,
Did you look for further video after the people arrived at 5:46:29?
yes.
Is there any video of those three people leaving?
No, there was not.
Was there later video at 7:05:16 a.m.?
There was, yes.
Ms. Gilman, can we see video 155, please? Thank you. Did you later see video at 8:23 a.m.?
Yes.
We have exhibit or video 159, please. Thank you. Did you later see video at 10:36:28?
Yes, I did.
Could we have video 161, please? Could you stop that, please? Do you know who's in that video?
I believe it's Mr. Paul O'Keefe and Mrs. O'Keefe.
Could you please play? Okay, thank you. Did you later look at video of 12:04?
Yes.
And could we please play the 1-minute segment of video 165? Could you stop that video? Do you know who that is?
I believe that's the defendant.
Continue, please. Could you stop that? Do you know who exited the car?
I believe that's Mr. Reed.
Continue, please. Thank you. Did you continue to watch the video from the driveway
Yes.
during that time period?
Yes.
Did you see anybody else get out of that car that was in the back?
Yes.
And who did you believe you saw getting out of that car?
I believe it was the defendant's brother and
Thank you for the follow.
possibly his companion. I don't know who that is.
Did you have a chance to watch the video?
Yes, I did.
At 12:35 p.m., could you play video 174, please?
I didn't. I haven't rewound it either. Who was snoring? I'm so confused. This is my first time seeing all these. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Did you look at video from 1240?
Yes, I did.
We have video 171.
You would think so, Allison. You might be thinking of somebody else's iPhone. I think so too. I'm sure he'll explain it at the end, because he sure as hell isn't explaining it now. It's John O'Keefe's Ring camera. I hate that he doesn't tell us before he plays stuff or during playing it.
And 175.
He waits until after. It drives me batshit crazy. That's Karen's car. Well, I'm not here for a magic show, so he can get to the point. How do you think it felt as the family to hear Michael Proctor saying, "I hate him, I hate him"? To hear that they were texting that. We won't be able to. It's the other side. My assumption was that it was about Mr. O'Keefe. I'm just assuming because they didn't specify in there. I think they were talking about John O'Keefe.
Thank you.
I
Did you
know.
look for further video to see if there's any video for the time around when the Lexus was taken from Meadows that morning?
Yes.
Was there any
Couldn't see
video
it.
that was produced that shows the time around before and the time that Lexus was removed from that driveway that morning?
There was no video. No.
That's a good question, Monica. We'd be assuming.
When you were at the Sallyport, did
I
you get
don't
an
know.
opportunity to look at the Lexus's rear taillight area?
Yes, I did.
Did you get to make observations about the damage that you viewed that morning?
Yes, I was.
Did you later have a chance to see, after the snow melted, what that damage looked like?
Yes, I did.
Could I have Exhibit 54, please?
Across the street,
Do you recognize what's in that
there
photo?
was a camera.
Yes, I do.
I
What
didn't
do you
check it.
recognize it to be?
That is the defendant's Lexus SUV that was seized and later processed. It's currently in the Canton Sallyport, I believe.
Could we
It was
focus on the
passenger.
right rear taillight, please? Do you notice anything about that right rear taillight?
Yes.
What do you notice?
It's missing a large red portion of the lens.
Is that consistent or inconsistent with the damage that you saw when you first saw that car?
That is 100% consistent.
Did you get an opportunity to see any video or photographs of that right rear taillight before the car was placed in the Sallyport video.
Yes.
Did you view the ring video from Mr. O'Keefe's Meadows Ave address?
Yes.
No, either.
If we could go back to video 153 from Exhibit 6.
I'm not buying it either.
If you could play this, please. Did you have a chance to review this video?
Yes.
Is this at 5:07:58 a.m. on January 29, 2000?
Yes, it is.
You stop, please. Do you notice anything about the right rear taillight in that video?
Yes.
What do you notice?
It's showing white and is missing the red taillight cover lens.
Could you zoom back out for a second, please? Could you continue? And I'm going to ask you to stop in a second. Stop, please. Do you notice anything about that still of that video?
Yes, it's consistent with its appearance of missing that red taillight lens.
If you could play the vehicle leaving the driveway, please. Thank you. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
The document, sir? Do you recognize what's in that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's a still frame from the ring footage taken.
I believe
of the video
Karen
you just watched
never showed.
of the Lexus SUV leaving, and the large red portion of the rear taillight is missing.
I'd like to move this into evidence.
Okay. Any objections to Jackson?
You can't clearly see because we didn't see who got in the vehicle.
If I may correct the record, the ring video exhibits are from 12A, not Exhibit 6.
It's okay.
At some point later that afternoon, you shared, or mid-afternoon, you went to Dayton, but before that, did you review any other evidence of the damage to that taillight before you and Mr. Proctor even got to the Dayton address?
Yes.
Could I have Exhibit 10, please?
The only part of the glass that they found was the bottom. Well, that's the only part I saw.
Had a chance to view still photos from the wellness check that was conducted by the Canton Police Department and videos on the dash cam.
Yes, I did.
Did you review this photograph?
Yes, I did.
And could we show a close-up on Exhibit 11? Did you have a chance to view the dash cam from this footage at 8:26:31 a.m. relative to the damage to that right rear taillight?
Yes, I did.
You shared with us that, you can take that down, please. You shared with us that after this time, somewhere around 3:15, you went to Dayton
Yes.
and you shared your observations when you got out of your truck and walked towards the car.
Yes.
Was there any difference between the damages that you've seen in the video, the photograph, and what you saw that morning?
The only difference is the amount of snow that's impacted on the vehicle. The damage is consistent. The large red lens is missing in every single piece of every single image that I saw.
Yes,
You
they have.
mentioned that there was a tow of that car in Dayton that you were there for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you aware that video footage was provided to us from that tow?
I was made aware, yes.
I'd like to enter into evidence a video from alarm.com. No objection. Did you view the video that was provided to us relative to the right rear tail light?
From alarm.com?
Yes.
Yes.
Court's permission, I'd like to play that for the jury.
Okay.
Thank you for the follow, Rebecca.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
This is video 1, Your Honor.
I don't know reality. Mr. Proctor, I believe, didn't he get fired? No, that was Proctor's supervisor. Didn't Proctor lose his job?
Can you play video 2, please?
There's been several moments I've said I can't believe they haven't thrown the case away. Several. Yeah, so the one that got 5 vacation days off was Michael Proctor's supervisor. The same guy that texted, I hate him.
Could you stop, please? Do you notice anything about the color of the right rear tail light?
Thank you, Taylor.
Yes, it was white.
Could you continue, please?
I was just thinking that, Jody, honestly.
Thank you. You can put the lights on, please.
I agree, Monica. We need a lawyer to ask that too. Maybe Mr. Jackson will tell us.
So did you have an opportunity to review video from C.F. McCarthy's on the
Atlas.
evening of January 28th,
How are you?
2022?
Yes, I did.
Did you have an opportunity to review videos from the Waterfall Bar on January 28th, 2002?
Yes, I did.
Did I say January 29th, 2022?
Yes.
Did you review all the entire relevant time periods?
Yes, I did.
When you reviewed those videos, were there a number of different things you were looking for?
Yes, there was.
Can you share with the jury what you were looking for?
In my
We were
opinion,
looking
yeah.
for consistency in statements that were already received through interviews. We were looking for description of clothing individuals were wearing at the bar, at those locations. We were looking for any evidence of aggressive behavior, any sort of information we could learn to help us with the investigation. We're also looking to see and document how
Thank you
much
for the
alcohol
follow.
consumption was on the recordings.
When you went through the videos, did you happen to have
Congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
an opportunity to copy and clip portions of relevant time frames regarding alcohol ingestion?
Yes,
Did you put all of those videos together in a sequence to show the course of the night, times when you could identify alcohol ingestion?
yes, I did.
Did you put that into
More than Lori Daybell?
a video format for a presentation?
Yes, we did.
I think this presentation may take a few minutes.
My lawyers, if I'll take that off for just a second, please. Jurors, feel free to stand.
I hope she sues them too. And I'm not one of those persons that says sue everybody type of thing. But this chick really should. Yeah, so were their kids. Well, not all the kids, but the party that was at the house. Was Lori the one that... yes, Lori Daybell, the one that unalived her kids, conspired to unalive her current husband's former wife, conspired to kill her fourth husband, and conspired to unalive her niece's former husband for her next trial. Yeah. The next one doesn't. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the team. Yeah, the first one was with her kids. The second one was with her former husband. The next one is with her niece's husband, former husband. So it's all adults. And represented her damn self. And guess what? She is asking for a new trial because one of the jurors after that came out and said, well, I know we just paid a jury, but I remember last night feeling, let's allow it. You can't say that because you're not supposed to have looked at it. Yeah, unquestionable, 100%. But he was cremated very quickly, so they can't go back and test him. Yeah. But to her, it's a performance. Just like in her beauty pageant days.
Yes, I do. There's still frames from C.F. McCarthy's on January 28, 2022 at 9:26:01 as timestamped on the footage cam.
Are there 4 photographs?
There are.
Move these 4 photographs into evidence. No objection.
Thank you. Is one exhibit again with the letters of things?
I've been wanting to redo that one.
Which one?
OJ. We just don't have, we have too many trials right now. It would have to be something in the fall or maybe even in the winter. I agree that the outcome will still be the same, hopefully. But it's all about getting the time out of jail tonight. Fix the mic, please. It's all about her getting time out of the jail cell, in my opinion.
Yes, I do.
And what are they?
There's still shot photos of the waterfall surveillance footage from the night of 28th into the morning of 29th.
Is this the fight?
All right, move these 4 photographs into evidence. No objection.
Yes, I will be. Brian Kohlberger. They had a secret hearing the other day, Hi, LT.
Thank you. Your Honor, could I proceed with the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Before I may stop you in a couple points.
Yes, sir.
Could you explain to us what this is?
Yes, from left to right, it is chronological events that took place at C.F. McCarthy's.
Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the team and family. I appreciate it.
This is surveillance video from one of their cameras within the bar. It should be noted that the video is time-stamped 12 minutes behind actual time. So when it says 9:03, when it is 9:03,
100% she will.
the frame will be timestamped 2051,
Anytime.
which is 8:51. So that's the time discrepancy, which is consistent throughout the surveillance footage.
Thank you,
The times that
Barbie.
displayed in those arrows, is that the accurate time?
The arrows are the accurate time, and the time stamped 12 minutes behind actual time.
In these videos, are you identifying drinks that were received and had been consumed by the defendant?
Yes, so the first video, as it is labeled, it's the defendant arriving. The next one will be the ordering of the drink and receiving the actual cocktail.
Okay, let's start with the first video at 9:03.
She's not debating how much she drank. If they're trying to do a timeline by drinks, they're not debating. Right?
Can you stop it there? Do you recognize who's in that video?
Yes,
From left to right of people that you recognize and identify clothing they might be wearing?
from left to right, it'll be Mr. John O'Keefe wearing the gray sweatshirt that was displayed earlier. And then the defendant, who he is trying to embrace with one arm there. I do not know who the other individuals are in the shot.
Okay, thank you. If you can continue, please.
It was a straw they found days later on the
Proceed to
street.
9:10.
So I'm not sure.
What did that show, sir?
It showed the defendant receiving her first tall vase, cylindrical style cocktail glass with a lime in it and a straw to go along with it.
9:27, please.
Bet you they don't. Bet you they don't. Let's hope the defense does at least. Keep in mind, this is all the prosecutor's case. The defense will get their turn at it too. Just might be further down. I know I was watching them yesterday morning because I wanted to check something. And I was just like, they're not holding back. It's clear that everyone feels one way or another. But the amount of people that are speaking up for all of this asinineness that happened and the way it all happened, it's scary because you could see this happening to any of us. Not that we all do everything we do. I'm just saying that if you could put somebody down for unaliving someone and collect the evidence the way they had and so on and so forth, that could happen to anybody. Red Solo Cup, fill you up. Can't get that damn Solo Cup out of my head.
And what was depicted in that video that you saw?
In that video, we see the defendant get
Sure
handed
would be.
her second cylindrical tall style cocktail glass while she finished the first.
Why is he allowed to insert the interpretation of it being a tall rather than a short glass? Is that not an opinion, or do they specifically call them that?
First one and then picked up the second one.
When you've made a relevant observation in the video, please interject and stop so you can point out for us what you've seen.
Absolutely, sir.
Plausible deniability,
Next,
getting
please,
it.
9:32.
Here the defendant is handed a shot.
Stop, please.
My thing is, why is he allowed to say it though?
Okay.
Is he a bartender on the side and we just don't know it? Right.
right there.
I think we'll just have to play it and you'll have to speak as you're watching it. It doesn't look like it can be stopped. Sorry, Ms. Gilmore.
No, I meant the guy on the stand. That's was the supervisor for Proctor.
She's
Is he
handed a shot by the bartender on the left side of the screen. She picks it up and puts it into her second cocktail glass, making it a third beverage of alcohol content that she's consuming.
How does know the first two were alcohol?
because of what she said she had. Maybe a receipt if they were thorough, but they haven't been thorough on anything. So take it for what you will. No idea, because the straw was also found in the middle of the street. Well, in the side towards the middle. It was in the street for days. That's why I'm not giving that one much weight.
Well, technically, anything they recovered after day 2
Right?
should be dismissed because of wind.
Well, the leaf blower would be grounds for dismissal at that point then. Exactly, Brandy. You just said it right. It could be anybody's. It was in the street for days. Just like all the evidence was unsecured before collected and after. Imagine being the O'Keefe family. This is their path for justice. This isn't justice. Not in my opinion. I like when you guys read between the lines without me having to say it. Yeah, because remember when he was collecting evidence, then was staying in his truck all day. I can't believe this is even happening. But keep in mind, this wouldn't be the first time cops in Canton did stuff dirty. Just keep that in the back of your mind. I haven't heard a mention of who paid. It's very hard for me to not research on something, Lisa. So that's why we only do the virtual jury, like for certain cases. It's very hard for us to not research. Me and Catnip are losing our damn minds here. Use the last name, never say cop. Why? If they happen to be a cop, I'm going to say cop because that's what they are. And if you're implying that means I would make assumptions about cops, you are wrong. I support police, just not this police station, not these people. Oh, we haven't done the rabbit hole. Too many cases too close together for us to rabbit hole, and it's driving us crazy that we can't. I know. Me too, Catnip. It's driving me absolutely insane. I'm tying our proverbial hands behind our back here, and I know I am, and I hate it. Thank you for the follow. Hi, Nita. How are you? It sure is absolutely ridiculous. Don't worry, there's no sound right now. That's why I'm talking. Then, because I felt like it.
Well, think about it this way: listening in, having a degree in criminal justice, I just can't fathom half the stuff I'm hearing from a police officer.
Yeah, I'll put it up tonight, Nita. Nobody on this jury watched the trial. The first trial. It was brought to us to do it as a jury again, like we've done once before. So we said, okay, let's do it. Apparently, Brandy, I can fast forward this if we have a unanimous vote. If I have any no's, we can't fast forward it. And let me do a vote thing. Hold on. We'll do the vote. Otherwise, you never know. All right, if you want me to fast forward through this, click the smile face. If you do not, the cry face. Benefits of being a virtual jury.
So right there, we observed Mr. O'Keefe retrieve his phone from his rear left jean pocket. And he put it back.
But it's not ripped, clearly. Do you know how hard it is to not research these rumors? The ones that are dancing around the case? It's driving me absolutely crazy. But Tara, it wasn't in this part where they have aggression. Hold on 1 second. Let me see how long this goes on for.
The shot goes into the empty one after it's poured into the new cocktail glass. So that's trick number 4.
I have a feeling that will come up when it's the defense's turn to present. You forget.
Mr. O'Keefe putting his cell phone in his back pocket again?
Yes.
If you think about it, right now they're just questioning who they bring up. When the state rests, it's a totally different game.
By 9:45.
By a lot of
how many
different
drinks
people
have
too,
been served
Stephanie.
To the defendant?
4 drinks.
4 drinks between 9:10 and 9:45?
That's correct. In 35 minutes, 4 drinks.
4 drinks in 35
Shoot the next
minutes.
screen, please. 10:09 p.m.
I'm thinking after this, if we have any breaks between one of our next cases, we should go watch the first trial.
Here the defendant speaks with the bartender and gestures that she wants a shot.
The objection is sustained. I'll strike that.
Objection stricken. Because he was saying that she motioned for, that's assuming what the gesture
Mr.
was.
O'Keefe on his cell phone again?
Yes, he is. And he puts it in his back pocket.
Who does he keep texting? Maybe he's just checking the score of a different game. Maybe he's not texting anybody. I haven't either. That's why the majority of us that chose to be on the virtual jury have not watched it.
The defendant is showing Mr. O'Keefe the middle finger, and then puts beverages on the bar.
About which part, Lucid? About her saying I hit him 3 times? Or different? There's a lot of things. Keep in mind, one of them was a shot for another drink that she had that she said was weak. It tasted watered. Per them. Yeah, we can't watch it till the end of this one, and that's if we have an opening.
Yes.
What is the drink count at that point?
At that point, it's 4 drinks.
We have the next.
Let me check.
Mr. O'Keefe brings over a couple of beverages.
I think we're open till
Choose a
Kohlberger,
Cocktail glass.
June 21st. For some reason, I have that down when I know his trial's later. Yeah, because I have down that he doesn't start till the 11th, so it must just be a motion hearing. We might have time.
A shot glass is picked up by one of the patrons, and the defendant retrieves it from him and places it back on the bar.
Wait, I need to check when Crystal Rogers' trial is. Don't let me forget to check for that one, because that's not in my book. Yes, thank you. June 2nd, I believe it is. How the hell did I forget that?
I think we're still keeping an eye on Daryl Brooks's appeal, aren't we?
Daryl Brooks is now representing himself in his appeal.
I know.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't checked it. Do you remember when this started, though, Jamie? LT, are you in here?
The
I know LT
defendant
was
is
helping me get the
consuming
dates
the
organized.
beverage in her hand,
I don't like the way this date book is
places
set up
it
at
on the
all.
bar.
This date book is all confuddled. I don't like it. I need to get a new planner.
And then
All right. Are we fast forwarding, guys? I believe after this they go on lunch because it's a very long time.
What time are we at now?
that was 10:34, so we're moving to 10:37.
What is the drink count at 10:34?
That is 5 drinks at that point.
Can we play 10:37, please?
Real time.
For Stefan,
Could you begin at 10:54, please?
that was rescheduled to July. Wait,
Here we see the defendant and Mr. O'Keefe walk into the bar and see their friends
I don't have Stefan in here.
engage in hugs and greetings.
We'll let the waterfall bar videos play.
I'm sorry, sir?
We'll let the waterfall video bars play. We'll just let them play.
Okay.
We need to get together and go over all the dates that we have later. I do not like this planner at all. I need to get the one that I had last year. There's no calendar available. It's just like, write your special dates on this day. And I go, no, I need a calendar.
$11:46, please.
Why is it so foggy? That might be May 27th.
12:06, please.
We skipped ahead a bit. Thank you, Allison. Now we're on to this view. Different angle.
12:07.
And at waterfall. If you guys could tap while we listen, it would be greatly appreciated. They're trying to document how much. My understanding is it's how much in a period of time.
Did you see the last person walk out the door on that video clip?
Yes, I did.
And did you identify who that is?
Yes, it's Mr. John O'Keefe. He's
This
wearing
side,
the
guys.
two-tone gray sweatshirt with the sleeves pulled up towards the elbows.
Thank you,
Is that
Gail.
the same clothing that you found at Good Samaritan Hospital when you went to visit?
Yes, it is.
The baseball hat, did you have an opportunity to look at the hat he was wearing?
Yes, I did.
Is that consistent with the hat that you and the group found on February 3rd, 2010?
Yes, it is.
Was there no
Yes.
hair
Yes, it is.
in the hat to compare it to?
Yes.
Showing you
It does show her standing there.
108C
She did not stumble.
evidence.
She seemed happy.
When you studied that photo, do you notice anything in Mr. O'Keefe's hand?
Yes, in his right hand, he's holding a short style cocktail glass with black drinking straw protruding from it as it is backdropped on the snow on the hood of the car that's parked outside.
Can we show 108C, please? Ms. Gilman, could you focus the best you can on the drink? Is that the photo you looked at?
Yes, it is.
Can you point out or explain where you see the drinking straw?
Absolutely. Right there, to the right of the red indicator.
The hell you
can
could not.
see the straw protruding out of the glass
No, you cannot.
Mr. O'Keefe is holding in his right hand.
No, you
Take
cannot.
that down, Ms. Gilman.
I object too. AJ objected. I
Take that
objected.
down, Ms. Gilman. Thank you. One last matter.
Thank you,
Lieutenant,
Crystal. How are
in
you?
2024, did you obtain ring video for that time period in 2024 from Mr. O'Keefe's home?
Yes, I did.
Did you provide that ring video to a person who works for a company by the name of Aperture?
Yes, we did.
And just very basically, do you know what Aperture does?
Yes, I do.
What do they do?
They
We
assist
don't.
in scientific fashion to reconstruct, test, and evaluate, analyze vehicle-involved crashes and deaths.
Is Aperture part of the Mass State Police team?
They are not.
Are they a private company?
Yes, they are.
May I approach?
Yes.
What are you doing?
I was just telling you.
You sure on
Lift up.
you sure on my spine?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's a ring video from 2024.
So what location?
Meadows Ave.
I'm trying to get Aaron to give me a massage.